A pleasant good evening to you all from Hat City, USA. Welcome aboard for the night's matchup between the Motor City Rockers and the home Danbury Hat-Tricks. I'm Chris Lynch. Jim Cerny will be joining in just a moment. We want to give you a few words from Billy McCreary, the Hat-Tricks returning home after a decently lengthy road trip, and the Hat-Tricks get plenty of time to enjoy home time, a two-game weekend series against the very successful Motor City Rockers. And I spoke to head coach Billy McCreary about a couple of different things, including this team's success and Motor City's abilities and records so far this season. Take a listen. It's December here in Hat City, USA. I'm joined with the head coach of the Danbury Hat-Tricks, Billy McCreary. And Billy, quite a great start to the season, even with the drop in Columbus, but still, what a fabulous start on the ice for the Danbury Hat-Tricks this year.
Yeah, the boys have been remarkable, so we certainly got to tip our cap to what they've given us here at the start of the season.
And most especially, the performance of Brian Wilson in net has really been something special. What's he done? Because he looks a lot sharper this year even than he did last season.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell Willie came in with a heightened focus and a job to do, and he's certainly doing that job for us. And just like any team, we're a team that makes mistakes, and Willie's always there to bail us out, and he's been tremendous for us, through this stretch here.
You did have your first loss in regulation, 5-0 in the most recent game against the Columbus River Dragons. And what do you think happened in that game? Was that mostly on what Columbus did very well, or what you guys maybe made a couple of mistakes on? Or it was the first loss in regulation of the season at this point?
Definitely a combination of both. Yeah. Columbus is a very good hockey club. They're well coached, and they played 4 really good periods of hockey, and we only played 2. So I thought, it was good that we got the win night 1. But to Columbus's credit, they played their game, and we didn't really have our best. And when it's best on best, you can't have an off night. And Columbus taught us a good lesson there.
And a couple of guys who've been really impressive in just the forward pairs. As expected, Johnny Ruiz has continued to be a wonderful goal scorer, and now that he's taking over a bigger leadership role wearing the captaincy, how's he responded to that capacity, like being a higher letter wearer and being a stated and clear and official leader on the team?
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, ever since Johnny, came here, his rookie season, we've always been harping on him to expand his role, expand his game, and we're always focusing on what he does away from the puck. He's incredible with the puck. He's one of the most dangerous goal scorers in our league for sure, and he's really elevated his role as a whole here this year, and it's been a big reason for our success. His commitment with and without the puck, the way he leads, the way he communicates, it really drives us.
And I'm sure part of the reason also he loves playing alongside Gordie Bonnell, who took a little bit to get going, but now he's got his offensive rhythm underneath him. What is it about those two skating together that makes them so dangerous to opposing defenses?
I mean, I could go on for a while about those two and what makes them so special to our group. One, they always work hard, and they hold the standards that we set as an organization, and they work towards their standards, and even through mistakes that they make, they always work to make up for those mistakes. And listen, hockey's a game of mistakes. We're all going to make them. It's how we support each other, how we make up for those mistakes, that really defines who we are as a team, and those two really lead the charge for us in that regard. And they care about each other, they love each other, and they work for each other.
2 other offensive guys who've been really skilled at creating points and creating offensive chances. Dustin Gesso and Luke Richards have been wonderful paired up together. When Jesso's been in the lineup, he's been close to unstoppable. I think he had a game early on in the season where he had 4 goals, or like 4 goals and 5 points in the second game against Delaware. How do those guys, is it a similar thing to Johnny and Gordie, that those guys have a good chemistry working off each other? Or you can pair them with a bunch of different people and they're just talented, skilled hockey players?
Yeah, they're just competitors too, and they want to be drivers of our offense. And the thing that impresses me most about Gesso this year is he's not in the box at the rate that he was last year, and he's able to produce more on the ice. So he's been a threat in every game that he's played for us, and we certainly expect those two to keep pushing the bar there for us.
You get 2 games against Motor City this weekend, a team that took you to overtime both times. You did get wins in both games, but still, that's points for them, and that's an overtime opportunity to build some confidence. I guess 2 questions. One, how's going into overtime built up some confidence for you guys since you've been getting a whole bunch of overtime shootout wins? And then also, what does Motor City do so well? Like they're an expansion team in the league, new this year, but you couldn't tell with how hard they fight and how good of an effort they give.
No, for sure. I mean, just to touch on those overtime games that you mentioned, those are great for our team, for our ball club. I mean, those situations are high intensity. We can't make mistakes. There's a lot riding on each and every minute, each and every shift in an overtime situation. So the fact that we're coming out on the good side of those, it's credit to the team that we have, the mentality that we have, and with us, our success starts without the puck. And when we're good without the puck, we're really good with the puck. And that's really been a big reason of our success here in the overtime periods. Motor City, you mentioned 2 overtime wins there, and they are a young team, they're a hungry team, they work, they compete. They skate, they're a fast team, they're well coached. So they really gave us a good test here, and I expect that we stole 2 from them in their building. They're going to come with the same mindset here for us this weekend, and we're going to have to play our best to make sure that we take care of the 6 points here.
You'll be able to catch both games on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel right here in the Danbury Ice Arena. Coach McCreary, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We welcome you back into the Danbury Ice Arena, and we welcome back onto the microphone Jim Cerny. He's been away for the last couple games. Jim, I missed you up here.
I highly doubt it, but I thank you for the kind words.
No, I genuinely love having you up here. So, the Danbury Hat Tricks had kind of a mixed bag weekend down in Columbus with the win in the shootout where they had a chance to win in regulation but couldn't seal the deal, but did get the shootout point, and then the loss the following game. So the first regulation loss of the season.
Yeah, not too bad that you go into your 15th game without a regulation loss. And yeah, Hat Tricks 13-1-1 start. They've had a couple long winning streaks this season. Lost the 1 game in overtime and now the first one in regulation. Billy McCreary was telling me before the game that he thought that the young defense for the Hat Tricks kind of got outworked, out-muscled, and kind of out-veteraned, to create a word. That Columbus just had to impose their will down low in front of the Danbury net. And he said that was the learning lesson for his defense heading into this game and the rest of the regular season.
Especially with Johnny McDonald going up to Roanoke in the SPHL. It's a lot of opportunity for other young guys, and it's an opportunity for them to face a good and successful Motor City Rockers team, but one that is pretty significantly depleted. It's only skating 4 proper defensemen and skating a couple of guys who are forwards as D tonight.
Yeah, going to be a tough road test for Motor City tonight. First of all, Danbury hasn't lost at Danbury Arena this season. They're 7-0-0 here at home. But Motor City's 7-3 on the road this season. They're on a 6-game winning streak overall, coming off a 7-3 win in Watertown last night. This is a good team. It's not just a good expansion team. It's a good team. Second place in the Continental Division, but they face a lot of adversity tonight. Playing in a tough building to win in on the road, and then as you stated, decimated on defense, thin throughout the lineup. They're really going to be tested tonight.
Yeah, they'll be tested by a unit that, let's give you the starters very quickly. Gordy Bonnell, Johnny Ruiz, and Michael Marchesand start up front for the Hat Tricks. Jared Yao and Brendan Dowler on the defensive spot. And in a lot of ways, the star of the show for the Hat Tricks, Brian Wilson, gets the net-minding spot.
Yeah, Brian Wilson, who, of course, was the first goalie of the month this season in the Federal League. He's 9-1-1 at .275 goals against, .923 save percentage, leads the league in wins. He leads the league in save percentage. He's 4th in goals against. He's been terrific this year. He has been the rock for them. And again, Billy telling me before the game that he thought Brian Wilson was not the reason why they lost last Saturday. It was a 5-0 final. He said maybe he wanted one of those goals back, but really that was a team-wide loss. He was really hyping up Brian Wilson, thinking that he played another strong game, and he's right back out there tonight.
We're going to throw things down to ice level for the pregame ceremonies. The Huckleberry Hill Middle School is here to perform the national anthem, so we will throw it downstairs to them and come back in just a moment with the start of tonight's hockey game. Kids from Huckleberry Hill have done the national anthem. Let's very quickly give you the Motor City starters. We gave you Danbury's just a minute ago. Josh Colton and Danny Vanderweel are the two defensemen who start off. Dylan Johnson is at center. Cade Lambden starts at left wing. And Declan Conway starts at right wing with Trevor Babin, a real high-caliber goaltender in the Federal League, getting the start in net.
Yeah, you know, the goaltending matchup to me is a huge storyline tonight. Two of the best in the league and two of the younger goalies in the league, too. So, you know, you could just say, boy, they're two of the best young goalies in the league. Oh, wait a minute. They're two of the best goalies in the league. We gave you Brian Wilson's numbers. Babin's numbers, 5 up, 3 down, and 3 overtime losses. So 5-3-3, 340 goals against, 912 save percentage. That's solid. And 1 shutout. You remember him with Delaware last season. In what was just a miserable season for the Thunder, this kid stood out last year as a rookie. He was only 6-24, but throw the record out the window. He had an .891 save percentage. Many nights he was facing 45 shots and up, and yet he really played tough all the way through the entire season, right until the very end. And I think he showed a lot. He proved himself last season as a true pro.
And by the way, 2 of those overtime losses against these Danbury hat-tricks in Motor City. The puck is dropped. We're underway from the Danbury Ice Arena. Puck will roll and retreat backwards, and the hat-tricks try and fish it out. Johnny Ruiz throws a check. Gordy Bonnell fishes out the loose puck, tried to center it. Not a hat trick in sight. The Rockers wearing their road white jerseys. Going from right to left across your internet waves. The hat tricks in their home blacks going the opposite direction. Brendan Dowler tries to feed it up to Michael Marchessan, who had a real good stretch at the end of November from the Elmira game and the Carolina game right around the weekend of Thanksgiving. Has cooled off a little bit, but rewarded with top minutes. Vanderbilt tries to center it. Johnny Ruiz will funnel this up to Marchessan. Knifes his way around. Marchessan will backhand this one deep, and they'll go off for a line change, first swap of the evening.
I have Michael Marchessan, 7 games with Danbury, 5 goals and 6 points after coming over from Binghamton. Nice little early season addition to the lineup.
We'll need guys like that, and he's got some size as Dmitry Kuznetsov forces the turnover and funnels this deep. Kuznetsov, Dustin Jesso, and Brendan Sheehan on a line together. Fanned on this from the blue line did Cody Gibbs. Motor City trying to get this out. They'll flip it high. Scott Koch, the real offensive star of this Motor City team, just flips it deep.
And we saw a lot of, the rookie Luke Richards playing with Dustin Jesso early in the season. A lot of production out of the two of them. Of course, the really big games, the explosive games that they had here in this building. Luke has cooled off a little bit. Still in the lineup. He's played every game this season, but he's been bumped down in the lineup. So Jesso now playing with Sheehan and Kuznetsov.
Kuznetsov rinds on, shoots it, saved by Babin. Sheehan whips it wide to the left. Kept in by Xavier Abdella. Connor Lynn, the pinch, keeps this one in. Absorbs some contact, goes down to Sheehan, gets back up. Puck sits right in front of him. Rockers are going to get this out. Ruiz and Zach Pamaleon. Pamaleon actually got the opportunity to play top-line minutes in the Columbus series.
Of course, Jesso was not on that trip, so it opens up a big spot, in the top 6.
Bad turnover for the Hat-Trick. Center cleared aside. Good stick by Xavier Abdella to poke it away. Brad Ryder right on top of it. Here comes Pamaleon. Man on his left. That's a nice bit of stick work by Jonathan Giuliano to poke that away and deny a good opportunity to enter.
Yeah, Pamaleon and Richards going in on a quasi 2-on-1, more like a 2-on-2. But a good play there, sticking it away as the pass to Richards never got all the way through.
We've played almost the first 3 minutes of tonight's matchup. Just straight on through, poked backwards. Marchessan can't control it for a proper advance. Jared Yao will settle it. Yao, the top scorer among the hat-trick defensemen with 9 points, all of them assists. Suspended for 1 game. He's back in the lineup now. Dowler. Been a real bit of found money on the back end for the Hat-Tricks.
Yeah, Dowler and Yao. It's a young defensive pair, but they play a lot better, a lot more mature than you would expect from pairing 2 rookies together. They both have been very, very good.
They're very mature individuals, and that is a big reason why Billy McCreary looked to sign them, is that they're new to the league, but they have good heads on their shoulders and are pretty wise about themselves. Gaudette tries to muscle his way through. Gibbs lost his stick. Gonzalez helps him out. Pass up ahead to Jesso. Has his man turned around. Throws on the afterburners. Burns a tire. Boy, that was a pretty great opportunity until the last moment. Shot on by Kuznetsov. Pinballs down, saved by Babin. Tipped in front before making the save. That's kind of an odd knuckling shot.
It was a tough save because that puck is bouncing towards him like a basketball. Got deflected at least once, maybe twice. Babin went down and made the pad save.
Lugo in pursuit. Motor City will flip this out into empty territory. Lugo spins. Lugo, Jesso, and Kuznetsov. Lugo walks it, shoots it, glove save, rebound opportunity, and the Rockers will get on top of it. Great chance to try and put one home, and now they try to spring it the other way. Wilson sticks this aside. Ryder on top of it, rolls to the circle. Pamaleon gets on top of the loose puck and flips it to Richards. Gaines thrown on from the blue line. They're generating a lot of rebounds on these shots. That long pass. Driving in is Everett Thompson. Shot off the glass. Kept in at the blue line. Hit by Connor Lynn before it got on Wilson. Giuliano goes down. No penalty coming here. Pamaleon up for Richards. Lofted in, and I'm amazed at just how quickly this is going by. We have played 5.5 minutes consecutively.
Yeah, and you just jinxed it.
To this point, yes. This is just incredible.
It's like talking about a no-hitter. You just don't do it as the broadcaster.
Winds up shot, glove save, and a nifty glove hand to deny the attack for Declan Conway. We'll take a breather. First media timeout. Hop back in just a second from the Danbury Ice Arena on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel.
TK's American Cafe on White Street in Danbury. Stop by TK's and try one of their 76 amazing wings flavors. That's www.tksamericancafe.com.
Right off the face-off, Dowler cuts his way around, winds up from the point. That's an offsides whistled.
Yeah, Marchessault just maybe a stride, half stride ahead of the play. Pretty nifty rush halfway up the ice here by Brendan Dowler. You know, lugged the puck out of his own end, danced around a couple forwards, got to the blue line and put a shot on net, but created the offside as well.
He's listed as both a forward and a defenseman. He plays D for the Hat-Tricks, but he's got enough speed that he could play forward if needed to. Hat-Tricks have to retreat into their own end. Gonzalez over to Gibbs. Stretch pass for Gordy Bonnell. Turnover. Shot save made by Wilson. Careless turnover. Gets the boards. Great leap to keep that in by Ian White. One of the only 4 proper defensemen that the Rockers are playing tonight. They are incredibly depleted on the back end. They're holding up okay. Shots only 5-3 against them. Dustin Jesso trying to force this clean. Kuznetsov with the glove. Settles it, carries. Still retreating, pursued by Scott Koch. Drops the pass for Jesso. Hat-Tricks are perfectly fine to skate around in the neutral zone. Play a very European skating style of game.
Well, it's a pretty good neutral zone trap there.
Yeah.
By Motor City.
Yeah.
Koch leading that, you know, being in the 1-2-2 forecheck, being the one.
It's hard.
Gave Danbury some fits there in center ice.
Yeah. It's also aiding to the continued long stretch of play. We immediately played the first over 5.5 minutes consecutively. We've gone on and played the next almost 2 minutes without an interruption.
Yeah, we've only had 1 whistle so far in the first period.
This has been incredibly quick. Pamaleon with the kick pass. Mike Lopez, the extra forward, glides in, throws a check. Puck rung around to the opposite end. Dowler kept that one in for a little bit. Still pursuing was Lopez. Had a hot weekend as well. Him and Marchessault had a really good stretch right around Thanksgiving. Must have been all that turkey.
Yeah, Lopez had the 2-goal game against Elmira, including the game winner.
Stretch pass ahead. Marchessault followed up with 2 games. Here's a break-in for Motor City. Gibbs will flip this out into neutral space. That's a great catch-up by Cody Gibbs.
Yeah, good, really, really good observation there. Gibbs picking up Yao. Yao misplayed it, let the man get behind him, but Gibbs cut across, got the puck, and got it out. Really, really good job by the rookie Cody Gibbs.
Gibbs providing some more problems. Shot save made by Wilson. Gonzalez going to flip this over the middle. Johnny Ruiz can't get control of it. Worked off of his stick. The puck is bouncing around kind of in odd ways as Wilson is just going to swallow it into his breadbasket and will take an a break that doesn't require us to go to a media timeout. It's very strange. I'm not used to it this game.
You mentioned Ian White before, one of 4 defensemen. If you're going to have only 4 defensemen, it's probably pretty good that one of them is a guy that's played 500 games in the NHL, like Ian White. We'll talk a little more about him a little bit later on, or as this puck goes up into the netting. Fill you in on, Ian White. It's his 2nd season in the Fed League. Guy that, sat out from 2015 to 2021. He's been open about substance abuse issues that he had in his life. Straightened himself out. Loved hockey. Wanted to get back to playing hockey, and he did that last year with Port Huron, and now playing with Motor City.
And he's playing in a really good situation. 12-3-3 are the Motor City Rockers so far this season. They've been really quite a story, and Ian White is one of those inspirational stories about getting your life in order and getting back to doing what you love doing.
Yeah, and doing the job on the ice. Not a surprise. He may be 38 years old, but he is still their, he's their top defenseman. 13 points, 13 games, solid in his own end. He was a good NHL defenseman before his issues got the best of him.
On come the Rockers. Lind can't get it through Scott Koch. Sent down to the ice. Good check by Lind. Sheehan will drop it backwards. Lind with Abdella on his hip. Lind will glide this forward. Across the red line. Fumbles possession. Puck will bounce to the circle. Backhanded into neutral space. And cheating ahead. His rider winds up, shoots it. I think that hit the pipe and finds its way out of play. I think that nicked the very top of it. I heard a faint hit.
Yeah, and Wilson might have gotten a piece too. I thought it was kind of a double hit there. I think it glanced off Wilson, glanced a little bit off the pipe, and then skipped up into the netting. Face off to the left of Wilson. Scoreless first period here. We're halfway through the first period.
It's incredible just how quickly this game has gone by. I think we've had 3-4 whistles. Yeah, only 3 whistles so far in this game, if my math is correct.
It's less your math than your memory, I think. But I think 3 is correct.
Yeah. Yes, and.
Yeah. Yes, and yes.
Gordy Bedell gives chase into the corner, comes up with it. Has to put it back to the half board. Marcia Sand there for it. Yao will step in, ring this round for Bennell. Bounced on net, winds up, shoots it. Save made. Maybe blocked before it ever got on net properly. Rocker's going to carry this out. Nifty stick bouncing. Dylan Johnson got a little bit creative trying to carry it through the neutral zone, almost all in the air. Ruiz winds up, shoots it. Kind of misplayed by Babin with the glove hand. Rebound chance, but the Rockers are right on top of it. Back they come. So Ferdini put on net, and Wilson will cover that up. And we get a quick little scrum right up against the end glass, and we need to let out some pent-up aggression somewhere.
Yeah, a little snow shower against Brian Wilson, and Gonzalez gets in there. Johnny Ruiz gets in there, standing up for their goalie.
That's perfectly reasonable. We'll take a breather in the media timeout. Hop back in just a second from Danbury Ice Arena.
Dr. Jared DiLorenzo is a proud member of the Danbury Hat-Tricks medical team. Stop by and see them on North Street in downtown Danbury. Feeling good is an option. They can get you there.
9 minutes, 9 seconds to go here in the opening stanza. Chris Lynch, Jim Sarney on the call with you here this evening. A very pleasant December's night in Hat City, USA. Relatively cordial hockey, except for the one scrum tied up right after the last little sequence. Send us into the media timeout. Turnover here. Gaudette tries to walk this in, gloves it down, walks it around. Tried to throw it on to center it. He put it off the apron instead. Rockers continue to cycle. Goes through Gesso and Koch. Gibbs tries to put this up towards the top. Settled at the blue line, floated. Bangs off the boards. Gonzalez will ring this round. Giuliano overran it. A lot of play down in this end of the rink and no shots to speak of out of it. Camaleon drops to Lugo. Gibbs up and forward to Richards. It's a game dominated by play in the neutral zone.
Yeah, a lot of neutral zone hockey so far in this one. There haven't been a lot of scoring chances, but certainly it's been tilted in Danbury's favor. They've had a few good shots, in particular that one by Lugo, that high-rising wrist shot that Babin made a good glove save on.
Shots listed on the board as being 6-5, so Motor City's had a couple of chances, not as good. This will be their best one. Big rebound, cleared away. Dmitry Kuznetsov rolling with Sheehan. He'll dump this deep. Sheehan will give chase. Motor City got their first. Kuznetsov threw a long pass across to Dustin Gesso. Motor City player blows a tire. That's Everett Thompson, got back up pretty quickly. Stretch pass ahead. Is this going to be icing? Yes, it is. There's 7:24 left to go in the opening stanza. Shots listed at 6-6. We're still goalless.
We should mention that the Hat-Tricks made a trade this week.
Yes.
Neither of the players are here yet. Neither, obviously not in uniform, they're not here. But we'll talk about it tonight. Defenseman Jake Grade and forward Michael Falenga have been acquired from the Mississippi Seawolves. Falenga should arrive tomorrow. As off the face-off, an opportunity for Danbury.
Winds up, shoots it. Nifty glove hand save by Babin. Dustin Gesso had the best look out of those. And on come the Rockers. Lynn tied up in the corner. Abdella tries to pass ahead for Kuznetsov. This is going to turn into an icing if it's got the legs, and it does.
So Falenga, a 26-year-old little guy, 5'7", 157 pounds. He's a Connecticut native. Played 11 games with the Seawolves this year at 3 assists. He's a rookie from Plattsburgh, or went to Plattsburgh. He'll arrive tomorrow. Not expected to play. Billy McCreary said the bigger addition is Jake Grade, but whether or not he's going to choose to play or not is still in question. He has not played yet this season. He played last year a little bit in the SPHL and also played 50 games with Columbus.
Both of those guys acquired from the Seawolves for future considerations.
Which means that either Chris or Jim could be heading to Mississippi at a moment's notice.
I don't think Mississippi is that desperate for me to skate. I don't know about you, but I don't think they're desperate for me to go out and play hockey.
I add character and veteran leadership, Chris.
I will not doubt either of those things.
I'm good in the room, as they say.
Ah, yes. I'm just a quiet presence who won't say too much, except for when you put a microphone in my face.
Yeah, but one quick final thought on that trade. Grade, we saw him play last year in Columbus. He was a good defenseman on a good team. So we know that the guy can play. The question is, does he want to play? And if he does, he can step in and fill that hole, the void, since Johnny McDonald now is in the SPHL.
In fact, he was a part of the Columbus team that eliminated the Hat-Tricks from postseason last year, went on and ended up dropping the finals to Watertown, and Columbus looks like they've got a real shot at making a good run through the Continental Division.
Yeah, that's a really good team.
Yeah. I mean, the Motor City has been really surprising and really a pleasant surprise for the league.
For an expansion team, absolutely.
Yeah.
6-game winning streak that they bring in today.
Hat-Tricks on a 1-game loss streak, a 5-0 defeat.
That's not
the
a
last
streak.
time out.
It's only one game.
It's only one game. 2's a streak.
So hopefully it won't turn into a streak.
Yes. Well, hopefully the Hat-Tricks are going to try and get a goal first. I know they're going to try, but hopefully they get a goal first. Turnover on the half boards. Try to center it. The puck will skip out. Not sure if that actually got on Wilson or if that was just blocked away by Brad Ryder. He'll walk in, winds up, shoots it. Save made this time. Got it clean. Wilson with the save. Marcia Sand tips this. Gives chase. Can't quite get control of it. Motor City is a great possession team. It's the thing I've noticed most frequently is that when they get the puck, they hold on to it.
Yeah, and the outlet quickly. Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, these are two good teams here.
Yeah, Motor City is a good hockey team. Here comes Dowler. He'll ring this round. Johnny Ruiz wins the race to the puck. Up to the point, kept in by Dowler. Wind-up shot tipped by Marchessaint before it got on net. Conway will hurl this to the opposite end of the rink. That turns into an icing. That should turn into immediate timeout. They are, yep, we will take it right here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. Brief pause. Back in just a second.
Oh, they score! Shoots it and he scores! What a goal! He scores!
Well, Peachware of Bethel is located on Greenwood Avenue in Bethel. Peachware is your place to go for a quality treat, yogurt, and toppings. It doesn't get much better. Catch a wave, a peach one. We should point out, too, Daniel Amesbury is not in the hat-trick lineup tonight. He's not injured. No, he's not suspended.
We just have to make that clear.
But he is dropping the mitts, so to speak. He's, in fact, very shortly, he is about to take part in an event, a boxing event.
In Providence. Yeah, he's down. He's in the capital of the Ocean State in the, I believe, the Wild and Rowdy fight. Part of the big entertainment stuff that he's a part of outside of just being a hockey player. Dowler winds up, wants the tip. Amesbury has said that he wants to play tomorrow, which would be remarkably impressive if he's able to take on and have a good boxing bout, and then the very next day play a official organized hockey game. We'll find out if Billy McCreary is into the concept when we get the lineup tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. Amesbury, 97 penalty minutes in 6 games this season.
Had 4 fights across the 2 games down in Columbus, Georgia. Dowler with the hit to jar the puck free. Officials are letting these guys play. Rockers come away with possession. This is really, really good stick handling by Scott Koch. He'll retreat back into the neutral zone, and turnover here. Marchessaint intercepts the pass, walks it to the circle, winds up, shoots it. It trickles in! Hat-Tricks lead 1-0. Michael Marchessaint breaks the ice in Danbury.
Well, Scott Koch just gave it up. You know, he had the puck in the offensive zone. Puck, you know, kind of trickled back off his stick into the neutral zone, so he skated backwards with it, back into his own end, and then he put it right on the stick of Marchessaint, and Marchessaint had a 2-on-1. He decided to shoot. Babin got a piece, but not enough as it trickles across the goal line, and Michael Marchessaint with his 6th goal in 8 games since coming over from Binghamton. And boy, hat-tricks take advantage. You know, this two good teams like this, you really, if you're given a mistake by the other side, a big mistake, a big turnover like that, you better cash in because you may not get a lot of opportunities. And exactly, Michael Marchessaint did exactly that.
And this feels like the type of game that could be a 1-0 or 2-1 game. Maybe it opens up considerably. That's certainly possible. But the way these teams have played so far, and that's a terrible giveaway for Motor City. That's their first and so far only significant mistake of the game so far.
Yeah, and it comes from their best player. You know, their best offensive player. He just coughed it up.
Winds up, shoots it. That's a good ripper just over the crossbar by Tommy Cardinal. So 1-0 hat-tricks. That should be an unassisted goal. Marchessaint intercepted the pass. He walks in again, tries to backhand it in, sits in the slot.
And indeed, it's an unassisted goal for Marchessaint, though Koch could be credited with an assist there because he laid it right onto the tape of Marchessaint.
Beautiful tape-to-tape pass, but from the wrong team.
Yeah, from the wrong team.
This is an icing call against Motor City. So that we've got 2:33 left to go in the opening period. 1-0 hat tricks, the one turnover, and Marchessaint gets on top of it and pumps it in. He's been quite a revelation since coming over here.
You know, he had so much size when he plays on the same line with Ruiz and Benel. You know, he opens up the ice for them with the side. I mean, he is a big, big boy.
I wonder how long Billy McCreary is going to keep him up there. Here's a glide in, shot save made by Wilson, rebound chance, second chance knocked down by Wilson. That's a good attack by Brad Ryder. Patricks will flip this in. Pamaleon giving chase. Giuliano knocks him off the puck, tries to ring it around the glass. Abdella winds up, didn't get a lot on it. Puck knuckled on and finally covered up. The officials blow the play dead with 2:04 left. Babin was down.
And again, similar to earlier in the period, it was a weird shot. It was a soft shot, but it was bouncing a lot. There were bodies in front. Pamaleon was there. Richards was there. So you have sticks and bodies and a bouncing puck, and Babin went down and got it.
Puck sits in the corner. Rolls up to the blue line, kept in by Dowler. Shoots it. This goes just wide. Might have been tipped, unsure.
Babin's pretty smooth. You know, I know we talked a lot about him last season. He's very smooth in net. And when he is on, you know, he's very quick side to side, very confident kid. And last year, that said a lot, playing for a team that was as bad as Delaware was. Very bad defensive team, worst in the league. But he stood out with his play.
Yeah, he's made a couple of good saves tonight. Had one that you might want the save back, but it's a bad turnover in front of him that ultimately leads to the worst of it. That's an offsides and a shot following on afterwards.
Yeah, a shot that hit the back of the net by Dylan Johnson. And you see Gesso goes over and says, hey, you don't shoot the puck after the whistle. And you see Johnson kind of shaking his head and everything. I don't think he meant to do that. Brian Wilson had, of course, given up on the play by that point because the whistle had clearly blown. So the faceoff comes outside the blue line.
If I'm not mistaken, shouldn't that be a penalty as well, or can that be a penalty?
Yeah, very rarely will you hear that, called a penalty. It's certainly not an automatic call.
Yeah.
Referee would have to, in his judgment, believe that it was done in some malicious fashion.
And that clearly wasn't.
Nah, absolutely not.
Cross to the circle. Coach tries to funnel this on net. They have a high stick.
Yeah, puck was hit with a high stick. So it'll come outside. The faceoff will come outside the Danbury zone with 56.5 seconds to go.
1-0 hat tricks in the lead. Michael Marchessaint doing the scoring all by his lonesome. Picked off a pass and right at it. The attacking blue line, he took it in and made it 1-0. A pretty well played period otherwise. Benel flips this deep, giving chase is Suffredini. He'll settle it behind his net. Benel continues to pursue, hits him to force it off the puck. Ian White, headlong pass. This is going to turn into an icing against Motor City. So with 38.7 seconds left, we go back to the hat trick offensive end of the rink.
Yeah, a big face-off here with 38.7 seconds to go. One thing I like really from both teams, but certainly from Danbury's perspective, they played a smart game. They haven't taken risks. They haven't taken any penalties. Keep in mind, this Motor City team has the league's top power play, converting at just under 30% so far this season.
Yao intercepts this pass. 25 seconds left to go. Ruiz up to Marchessaint. Puck bounces across the blue line. Benel there for it. It pinballed away from him. 3-on-2 the other way. Shot on Wilson. He'll put it in his mitt and not give a chance for a rebound. The smart play. 14.9 seconds. Faceoff will be to Wilson's left.
See who they put out here for the faceoff.
Koch, of course.
Yeah, Koch, no surprise. He's in the trigger position. Looks like Lugo will get the face-off here for Danbury.
Against Derek Makima. Hat-Tricks will come away with it. They're not going to do anything crazy. Yao will just hold it. Pass it up to Richards. Motor City would have to regroup. Final 5 seconds. They'll hurl this on net. Final 2. Yao gets on top of that, and that is all she wrote for the first period. A pretty straightforward period. Actually, maybe the most straightforward and simple to call period we've had all season. I don't think it's that close, actually.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there were no histrionics. There's no, getting into any extracurriculars or anything. This is just two good hockey teams playing good, disciplined hockey in the first 20 minutes. Neither team took risks. I talked about how Danbury didn't take risks. They didn't take penalties. Well, neither did Motor City. And it wasn't an overly physical first period, but it was two teams playing a little bit cautiously, I think out of respect for the opposition. I think Danbury has a lot of respect for Motor City and vice versa. And again, 1-0 after 20 minutes to play, two of the best teams in the league. That's playoff hockey right there. It's smart and disciplined. Those are the words that, to me, stand out in this first period.
And the Hat-Tricks have gotten themselves into a bunch of high-scoring affairs, overtime games. You have to show at some point during the season that you can win a game 1-0 or 2-1 and nail things down nice and easy in regulation time. And this is the type of game where they have the opportunity to show that they can win a game by a straightforward score and that they can win a game in that manner.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they've won games in all fashions this year, but they're an explosive offensive team. But here you get the sense, and credit Motor City, too, for playing really well and stuffing that neutral zone for big portions of the period. But Danbury not getting impatient, not turning the puck over, finding ways to get it in deep, and when they do get it in deep, going to work. They certainly had the better of the scoring opportunities. Babin had a couple really good saves, I thought. But again, nothing crazy either way. Not a lot of great open looks either way. I thought Danbury did a good job in their own end of the ice. Shots on the scoreboard say 10-9 Danbury. And out of those 9, I'd say maybe Brian Wilson tested on 2 to 3 of them. Otherwise, everything pretty much routine for the Hat-Tricks goalie in the first period. And when it's pretty routine, that means the guys in front of you, not only your defensemen, but the 5 guys on the ice in front of you, 5 skaters in front of you, are doing their jobs defensively. I like how Danbury is working on their 5-man units.
It was a very straightforward game, a very straightforward period. The Hat-Tricks got the 1 goal. It was the 1 mistake that Motor City made. Michael Marchesand jumped all over it, pumped it home, his 6th goal since coming over from Binghamton. He has been found money, and you need guys like that throughout the course of a season to be big contributors and big revelations for you.
Yeah, and listen, we talked about this all the way back on opening night about how your roster and lineup in this league, it evolves. That team that you start with may not be the team that you see in a month or even a couple weeks, much less at the end of the season. So this is an ever-evolving process here. Guys get hurt, guys get injured, guys get called up to the SP. So it's constantly evolving. So getting in-season acquisitions like a Marchesand, like Gonzalez coming back from the SPHL, like Abdella coming back from the SPHL, like Sheehan joining the team after the season started. Getting guys like that and having them contribute and play major roles is really vital. It's so important in this league to have quality depth and continuing to feed into that depth. We talked about the trade they made earlier this week, constantly trying to improve your depth. And I think that's been one of the keys for Danbury this season, in which they're off to just a fabulous 13-1-1 start.
They've performed well so far. They've won games every which way they possibly can, and against a team whom they've already taken 2 overtime wins from, they look to be doing more of the same here on home ice. We'll take a breather, come back in a little bit with the second period from the Danbury Ice Arena here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel.
Right off the jump, we've got ourselves a line ball. Robert Hyde drops the puck.
We're going to have a fight at center.
Levesque with a couple of big rights.
He scores!
Oh, they score! Shoots it and he scores! What a goal! He scores! Right off the jump, we've got ourselves a line ball. Robert Hyde drops the puck.
We're going to have a fight at center.
Levesque with a couple of big rights.
He scores!
Intermission coming to a close here at the Danbury Ice Arena. Teams are starting to trickle back onto the ice. Chris Lynch and Jim Cerny here on the call with you here. And we looked at the schedule, this is the only time this whole season that Motor City is here this weekend. And with the road trip already completed to the Big Boy Arena, we're all done with the matchups with these two in the regular season after this weekend.
Yeah, which is kind of a shame because I'm enjoying this matchup just like, we enjoyed the 2 games that were played in Motor City. 2 games that were both decided in overtime. Danbury winning each of them. Ruiz had a overtime game-winning goal. Kuznetsov had an overtime game-winning goal the next night. But yeah, here we are. We're still pretty relatively early in the season, and these 2 teams will be finished with each other after tomorrow night's game right here at Danbury Arena with the puck drop at 7 o'clock. Should point out, you can get your tickets at www.danburyhattricks.com. And then, then the team's back on the road. They've been playing a lot on the road as of late. 6 of their last 7 games have been played away from Danbury Arena before tonight. Well, they're back on the road next weekend. They're in Delaware on Friday night, up in Watertown or over in Watertown on Saturday night. And then the next home game after tomorrow will be the one right before Christmas, Friday night, the 23rd, when they host the Delaware Thunder. And what a better way to kind of ring in the holidays, huh? Then show up here at Danbury Arena for the Hat-Tricks and the Delaware Thunder. Again, get your tickets at www.danburyhattricks.com/tickets
for the more specific link there. And that weekend is part of there's 4 games in a row where the Hat-Tricks will be playing Delaware. 2 at home on the 23rd and 27th. So come here on the 23rd, enjoy a couple days before Christmas. Enjoy, open up presents, enjoy all that good stuff, and then when you need a breather from your relatives, you come back here on the 27th and then go off and celebrate New Year's.
Yeah, not really a road trip for the Thunder. They're bussing up, they're going to bus back, and they're going to bus back up and bus back home again. So
that's kind of a rough couple of days, actually.
Yeah, right around the holiday as well. It kind of drew the short straw in the schedule there.
It's doable. I mean, the Hat-Tricks had to bounce back and forth from here to Binghamton, back to here, and then out to Elmira right around Thanksgiving. So
yeah, that is true. That was not the most convenient of schedules as well.
Yeah. So it ends up balancing itself out ultimately with fairness, I guess. Hat-Tricks in their home blocks going from right to left across your internet waves. The Motor City Rockers in their road whites going the opposite direction. The puck is dropped. We're underway. No icing on this initial entry. Puck will ring round. Benell throws all of his weight into his opponent. Just center it, circle, shot, trickling. Babin will clear it. On come the Rockers.
That's about the 3rd time that Danbury didn't get it all into a shot, and Babin had to kind of adjust on the fly to a shot that he thought would be a lot harder coming at him, and instead it came in much slower, a softer shot.
By the way, a heads up, we will have head coach Billy McCreary joining us upstairs during the second intermission for a brief chat about how the game is going and how everyone feels. So, coach's update. Shot on save made by Brian Wilson, who continues to be Brian Wilson, which is very good, and everyone who's a Hat-Tricks fan enjoys this. Worked off the puck by Gesso. Sheehan pursues. Treats around the goal line, extended, up and forward. Kept in at the line by Kuznetsov, but not more to do with it. White up and forward to Koch. Thing that you definitely can give some credit to the Hat-Tricks as this finds its way out of bounds. You can give a lot of credit to the Hat-Tricks for Motor City really hasn't had much space once the Rockers did a great job in the neutral zone. But Danbury's done a great job in providing them no room to work with once they get to the offensive end.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And they've been pushed to the sides with their shots. Not a lot of clear looks on Brian Wilson. 2 teams playing very well defensively.
Top of the circle, shot blocked before it ever gets on net. Wilson didn't get a piece of it at all. It just goes into the protected netting off a hat-trick, so we'll stay right here.
And that was Scott Koch with the shot, the 26-year-old. Leads Motor City with 13 goals in 11 games played. Also leads them with 20 points.
Don't expect us to say his name infrequently the rest of this game. Gesso Drop it up to the circle for Sheehan. Gibbs tries to put it on net. It's blocked. Kuznetsov tries to ring this round. Tied up to the point. Gibbs and Koch wrestling for it. Gonzalez will get it in neutral territory. Kuznetsov. This will be rung through. We're 2 minutes deep into the second period. More stops, but still pretty straight up hockey between these two. Gonzalez gives chase. This is a rolling puck, no icing. Gonzalez will just fish it out of his own end. Stretch pass from the red line. Off to deep by Everett Thompson. Cardinal, they'll settle this behind the net. Rockers get their first chance to set up and go to work. Gibbs tries to intercept this, can't quite do so. Different teammate does. Pamaleon can't quite get there. It floats into neutral space. Lopez walks on, tries the self-pass, blows a tire. Good nifty handling by Brad Reiter across the Hat Tricks logo and across the blue line. Thompson funnels this around. Sits against the end boards, looking for somewhere to go with it. Up top, this is tipped, great keep. Giuliano shot by Wilson, saved by Wilson, and funneled into the protective netting. And yeah, it's been pretty straight up hockey.
Now Motor City coming off their 6th consecutive win last night. They were in Watertown. Ross Bartlett scored 44 seconds into the game, and there was no looking back for Motor City, a 7-3 win. Mentioned Scott Koch, their leading scorer. He had a hat trick last night, 3 goals and an assist. 11 skaters had at least 1 point for Motor City last night. But right now they've been held off the scoreboard by Brian Wilson in the hat tricks. Danbury leads it here 1-0.
Shots are 10-10.
That can't be up to date, is it?
That's what they've listed it at right now. I'll ask for an update at some point, but that is what it reads right now.
Yes, it does.
Lind off the boards to Bennell. High off the glass. Marchessault tries to dip around the defenseman Giuliano. Engages here. Captain Ruiz can't get it through Conway. Bennell tips that one. Marchessault will flip it on net. Bangs off the end boards. Played just about the first 4 minutes, and there's the first penalty of the game. Gordy Bennell is going to go off for a high stick that came up and caught. Was that Dylan Johnson? Yeah, that's Dylan Johnson who took the brunt of that. And so the Hat Tricks make a critical mistake. They give the best power play in the FPHL a real chance to score here.
Yeah, that's behind the play. It's in the offensive zone, and Gordy's a veteran. He's not going to be happy with that one. They got tangled up, Johnson and Bennell did, and it looked like Bennell was just trying to, maybe knock Johnson's stick away, and instead the stick came up.
Wait a minute, why is Johnson going off as well?
And now Johnson's going to the box as well. There is a little something going on behind the play there, and it looks like we might get coincidental minors.
Yeah, they've put 2 2-minute penalties up on the board. So, yeah, so much for the power play opportunity for Motor City.
Now, this does open up the ice for both teams as we'll skate 4-on-4.
So the puck is dropped. Hat Tricks will win it. Dowler will retreat and leave it for Gesso. Gesso cuts around one man, has some room to work with. Takes on 3 Rockers all together, and the bass guitarist, the lead guitarist, Ed drummer, all taken away for the moment. Up to Yao. Yao will walk in across the right side, winds up, shoots it, save made, big rebound chance, and scores! Brendan Sheehan hyping up the crowd. It takes 26 seconds on 4-on-4, and it's 2-0 for the Hat Tricks.
I said it was going to open up the ice, right? And we've had such a tightly played defensive game. Here, maybe the ice opened up a little bit. Really the mistake here by Motor City is Gesso comes in on a 3-on-1. They take the puck away, but then they wrap it around. Instead of controlling the puck, they wrap it around into open space on the other side. And that allowed Danbury to gain control of the puck and keep it in the offensive zone. They get a shot on goal. It's saved, and Sheehan then is able to bang in the rebound for Danbury for Sheehan, his 8th goal in 14 games this season.
Got a little bit of a delay. Dustin Gesso was sorting out an equipment thing that had gone wrong for him. He looks to be all good and ready to keep playing. We've still got a minute and 25 seconds worth of 4-on-4 time to go. Pass up ahead, top of the circle. Sheehan spins off. Gibbs with him, walks in, shoots it. He whipped that one well out of play. Did that find its way between there's the door where you walk onto the ice? Did that find its way out through that opening in the glass?
I don't know. You heard the shocked reaction by the crowd.
Yeah.
It happened so fast.
I don't know how that got out, but it did.
But it did.
Hockey, a participation sport.
Yes.
All fans who go, this is why you're warned. Watch out for flying pucks. Gibbs tries to throw it across. Richards tries to putting it on net. Pass intercepted by Suffrandini. Out ahead, rolling up the right wing is Makima. Shoot it, save made. Kuznetsov up to Richards. Pairing Kuznetsov and Richards is actually, I think, a pretty good collection of guys to go with. Here comes Gibbs. Glides on. Cody Gibbs showing some real skating prowess. Runs out of room with it. Lugo tries to funnel it down to the circle. White, he'll leave it up the left side for Koch. Up to the circle, left on. Koch dips around Lugo, walks in, shoots it. Save made by Wilson. Good play by Connor Lind to poke it free, and on comes Lugo. Self-pass ultimately to the circle, winds up, shoots it. That puck sits on top of the net. Babin has been bedeviled by a couple of bad bounces so far in this game. They tried to center it for Kuznetsov, who's going to head off to the bench. And we've got those penalties for you. Gordy Bennell across to Marsha Sam. We'll get those to you at the next opportunity.
Yeah, the coincidental minors, Bennell 2 for high sticking, Johnson 2 for interference at 3:57.
And the 5-on-5 penalty time has expired. Ruiz with the shot. Good save off the shoulder. Abdella flung across for Lind. Tries to funnel it on net. We have a delayed penalty here against the Rockers, and Wilson has headed off to the bench, so the Hat-Tricks have 6 skaters. No goaltender. Bennell on Sheehan, scores! Brendan Sheehan! Top shelf, top corner on Babin. I think he hit him in the side of the head, and it's 3-0 Danbury.
Love it. Sheehan had some open space. Nobody came to play him on the 6-on-5 with Wilson sitting on the bench or heading to the bench off the ice, and he came out. He came out just a little bit over the goal line and got a little bit of an angle to shoot at, and he went up high with it, and he's able to beat Babin. 2 goals in about a 2-minute span for Brendan Sheehan, and it's now 3-0 Danbury.
Sheehan walked into this game 5 goals, 7 assists for 12 points. 7-7 now. Amazing what 1 2-goal game can do for your scoring totals. Here come the Rockers looking to get themselves back into this game. Hat-Tricks got up 3-0 on Columbus before falling in that game with 1 in the first, 2 in the second. The River Dragons able to flip the script completely in the third period. Held up over 20 shots on goal. Rockers trying to wake up their offense. A bit chance out in front. Good save. Wilson gets some fortunate help. Loaded off the glass. Intercepted by Evan Lugo. Walks it on. Lopez dips around. They'll pick up the puck sitting on the apron, still contested. Pamaleon will get to it. Jared Yao gets one of the assists on that goal.
That was the first Sheehan goal at 4:22. His 6th from Dowler and Yao. The second goal came at 6:37 Still waiting on the assist there, but it was Sheehan with his second of the game.
Dustin Gesso with the interception. Good kick pass. Shot. Just missed it. Luke Richards had the net dead to rights and just missed it a little bit wide. Woo. Under 12 to go. They've announced the penalty. Shot on save by Wilson. Great opportunity at the opposite end for Artem Alekinen. Flipped into neutral space. Gesso carries forward. Gesso shoots it. Save made by Babin. Richards at the opposite end. So much for a low offense game. The goals have really started coming for Danbury. It's all is down to Gesso. But Gibbs with one of the assists. Gesso, Richards nearly had the tip. And Johnny Ruiz with the other assist on Sheehan's second goal. 11:20 the time remaining here in the second period. Turnover here. Fanned on the shot did Ryder. Gonzalez will take it for a walk. Settled down by Kuznetsov. Rockers will glide forward. Tried to center it. No room. Up to the circle. Kuznetsov tries the headlong pass for Bennell. It's a little bit too far for him. Ian White on top of it. Coming up on about the 10-minute mark. Wilson out to play it. Has to get back into his own net. Successfully done. Winds up, shoots it just a little bit wide to the right. Knuckling puck. Wilson fought it for a moment, got control of it. Here comes Bennell. Marchessault has to pull up at the blue line. Receives the pass from Bennell. Centers it. Oh, Johnny Ruiz just missed it. Just put it a little bit high and left. Attrick still on the attack. Marchessault will leave this for Captain Ruiz. Tumbles down. Marchessault goes and gets it. Playing a two-man game in the corner with the captain. Rockers will come away with it, though. On comes Johnson. Dylan Johnson, the centerman. Long forward. Xavier Abdella will center it. Long shot on net. Pamaleon gets to the rebound off the Babin save. Koch up and over Marchessault. Dowler walks this on. The Hat-Tricks are pinning the Rockers in their own end. Sneaks under. 9:40 left to go here in the second period. So much for thinking this was going to be a 1-0 game as we get an icing. Or no. I say that was tipped, no icing. Lopez and Pamaleon.
Yeah, Danbury taking advantage of opportunities again. They did in the first period on the giveaway. Then on a 4-on-4, a little extra open ice. They're able to score there, and then on a delayed penalty. So that's kind of three opportunities that they took advantage of. And they have raced out now to a 3-0 lead.
I don't think that technically counts as a power play goal, which with the Hat-Tricks certainly would take one right about now.
Yes, they would.
In the corner boards walking on. Hat-Tricks, of course, have the lowest power play percentage. Circle shot save made. Rebound chance. Not there. And the Hat-Tricks get a bit lucky. Puck funneled out. Wilson didn't know where it was on the third attempt.
Yeah, Wilson with two big saves with the pads. Lost sight of the puck. But Brendan Dowler was there to help out his goalie. And he's just able to shovel it on out to center.
Pamaleon up to Gibbs. That shot will go into the protective netting overhead. We've got a breather. Media timeout. We'll take it here at the Danbury Ice Arena. Back in a moment from Hat City, USA.
Well, Texas Roadhouse is located on Newtown Road in Danbury. It opened its doors locally in 2017 and is known for hand-cut steaks, cactus blossom, fall-off-the-bone ribs, made from scratch sides, and fresh baked bread. The restaurant prides itself on its legendary food, legendary service, and legendary fun. It's the Texas Roadhouse on Newtown Road in Danbury.
Face off in the offensive end for the Hat-Tricks. Jesso and Sheehan combined to ring this round. Lambden reverses course. Gonzalez and Sheehan put it behind the net. Rockers will get this out. This is going to turn into an icing. It's got the steam, and yep, this is an icing. Rockers have had a really hard time in this period just getting out of their own end of the ice.
Yeah, I would say that certainly, this last stretch here, now, now you start to feel it maybe in your legs playing back-to-back nights, a little bit of travel on the road, and, your legs feel a little fresher in that situation when it's 1-0. But when it becomes 3-0, yeah, it's probably a little bit tougher on them right now.
This is going to be a penalty against Gordy Bunnell, and the Hat-Tricks and their fans are markedly unhappy. They're going to say this is a high sticking.
Johnny Ruiz is hot.
Kyle Gonzalez also unhappy.
They're gesturing, they're yelling. Now the two referees are actually standing at the red line to talk it over, and I believe there's not going to be a penalty.
Yep.
And Johnny Ruiz and Kyle Gonzalez and Gordy Bunnell win the argument. Well done.
Immediately they go over and have a chat with Gordy Brown, the head coach of the Motor City Rockers, who we must say has done a great job with this team.
Yes, he has. He's got a, long, successful career, primarily in junior hockey and youth hockey. And now getting a chance to coach at the pro level. And no argument from him, even though there's still some jawing on the ice. Conway talking up one official. But not really an argument from Coach Gordy Brown.
No, he just kind of accepts what the call ends up being.
I think it was the right call. The player, and I forget who it was, on Danbury, just fell on his own trying to knock the puck down. Off this faceoff, Johnny Ruiz didn't fall down on his own. He is tripped down, and we will get a power play, except it will be Danbury going to the man advantage.
Dylan Johnson is the offending player with 8 minutes exactly left to go in the second period. The only beleaguered factor of the Danbury Hat-Tricks, the power play. Only about 10% of the Hat-Tricks power plays have been effective. To be fair, they've gotten some meaningful power play goals. Like a couple of overtime winners have actually been on power plays. But that's the one piece that I'm entirely certain that Billy McCreary is going to harp on if it doesn't go
yeah,
great.
and he has been. 9 of 83, 10.8%, last in the league.
Ruiz knocks this down. Oh, what a save! What a brilliant save by Babin! How did he stretch across so well? Offsides for the Hat-Tricks. That's save of the year candidate for Babin.
Great effort by Babin. Stretch out when he was down already to stretch to his right. I mean, Johnny Ruiz is a goal scorer, and he had the entire net to shoot at, and Babin was able to make the pad save. Oh, Johnny's going to be talking about that one later on.
Wow. That's the save of the year on the Fed.
That is
at this
beauty.
point.
That was a beauty.
Wow. I can't even be mad about that. As a Hat-Tricks person, that's just incredible play. Poked out to neutral territory. Koch can't beat Lind to it.
I'd say Johnny's probably angry, though.
Yeah, I understand. But for me, from just the spectator's perspective,
yeah, it was beautiful.
Wow.
It's a great save.
Here comes Gordy. Nell runs out of room. Puck will settle in the corner. Gaudette will hurl it the opposite end of the rink. We've got 1 minute and 13 left to go on the power play.
You mentioned Gordy Bunnell there. Gordy scored 3 goals so far this season. 2 of them have come on the power play. Now he heads to the bench here. He is the only hat-trick player with more than 1 power play goal this season.
Do we want to keep concerning the fans with these stats?
I'm just sharing information is what I'm doing.
Yeah, this is the reality of the situation.
And it'll turn at some point. They've got too much skill out there on each of their units.
Hat-Tricks are offside. Sheehan has to pivot and go back, so they'll settle. The Rockers take their time. Fling it to the opposite end of the rink. Wilson will settle it, look for a passing option. He's got Gesso. Or pardon me, he's got Kuznetsov. Flying across. 20 seconds to go. Winds up, shoots it. Save is made. And really, I don't think this has been that bad a power play. Ruiz got robbed, and Kuznetsov able to generate a real shot out of it. It's not like they haven't got opportunities.
Yeah,
out of this.
after Ruiz got snuffed there, you know, it went kind of dormant, you know, so that you had one really good opportunity in the first 90 seconds, and then Kuznetsov just takes it upon himself, you know, to kind of go end-to-end rush with some good speed, get a shot on net, and then force the face-off that they lose here, and the puck gets sent all the way down the ice.
Final 5 seconds of the power play are going to tick off, and the Hat-Tricks, with the aid of complete robbery, add to their misfortune on the power play.
They have scored 2 power play goals in the past 6 games.
That's a little concerning. And one of them they got on a 5-on-3. Actually, no, 3 games ago, as they got a 5-on-3 goal against Carolina.
Yeah.
That was one of Gordy Bonnell's power play goals. Gesso puts his back right in to Vanderweel. Wheels around. Sits against the half boards. Tries to hand it to Richards. Can't do so. Floated around. 5:15 left to go. Hat-Tricks leading 3-0. Motor City with a good offensive push after falling down 3-0. Gonna need some more, and fortunate bounce nearly onto Richards' stick. Lugo knocks this down. Good effort to keep this in the attacking end. Rockers will come away with the puck. We're now under 5 minutes to play here in the second period. Next pause will be the final media timeout of the frame. Billy McCreary coming on during the intermission. Turned over. Lopez overskated the puck. Bonnell keeps walking with it. Bonnell tried to center it across for Lugo. Couldn't get it there. Good diving effort to break it up. Walks in, winds up, shoots it. Wilson with 1 save, 2 save. Tied up in front. And Bonnell not liking the hit by Elias Thompson. We're going to take a breather and hop back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena. Physical game, very enjoyable though. Brief pause, back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena.
Oh, they score! Shoots it and he scores! What a goal! He scores!
Beautiful version of God Bless America here at Danbury Arena with the Hat-Tricks leading 3-0. For a comfortable stay with great amenities, the only choice is the La Quinta by Wyndham right here in Danbury. As for the Hat-Tricks friends and family rate, you can't beat it. La Quinta by Wyndham right here in Danbury with 4.5 minutes to go in the second period of what has been a very, very solid home game so far for the Danbury Hat-Tricks.
Plenty of offense here in the second period. It provided by Dustin Gesso, who's been a man possessed. First period goal for Michael Marchesand. The second period with 2 tallies for Sheehan, the St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin native. Tries to lug this across the circle. Rocker's shot save made by Wilson.
Yeah, Koch with the takeaway there. There was a rare bad turnover deep in their own end by Danbury, and Koch immediately got a scoring opportunity as the puck comes back the other way and rolls on net, and Babin will hold on to it. So rare miscue there, and one that led directly to a scoring opportunity for the guy that you don't want to put the puck on his stick. Koch, of course, with the hat trick last night and the 13 goals on the season.
It's a smart decision, by the way, for Babin to just cover this puck up. Also a random thought. I really like these Motor City uniforms.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the color scheme is good. The logos are good. As a New Englander, it reminds me of St. Michael's colors at St. Michael's College up there.
Yeah, I like it. I like the purple. And as a broadcaster, numbers and names easy to read.
Yes. Either a dark color against a light backdrop or a dark color against a light backdrop.
Yes.
I've seen uniforms where black jersey, black number with a white outline.
That is
Please stop.
ludicrous.
Just no. Walks to the circle, winds up, shoots it, save made. Broadcasters and statisticians always just want to read the numbers.
Yeah, numbers, that's important on the jerseys. But also, having worked in the NHL for years, some of the arenas, you are so high up. The press box is so high up and recessed back away from the ice. And trying to figure out who the heck has the puck and who's hopping on the ice and who made that pass, it's not easy. You got to give credit to these broadcasters.
Yes, they're very, very good at what they do. Pamaleon up to Brendan Dowler, winds up, shot blocked down. Good stick by Roman Gaudette. This has a chance to turn into icing, and it does. With 3:06 left to go in the second period, we'll get a face-off back at the opposite end of the rink.
Yeah, when we're talking about uniforms, in addition, to the Danbury uniform, these new home uniforms this season, the black with the white and orange trim.
Which is very nice, by the way.
Love it. Is now the Todd Maserati Alfa Romeo of Danbury advertisement on the lower backs of each sweater.
Yes, they are the official uniform sponsor, and they've got their sign up on the scoreboard as well. We're very grateful to the great folks at Todd Maserati Alfa Romeo. Circle shot, save made by Brian Wilson.
And they are located here in Danbury on Newtown Road. The Bennett family has been putting the community behind the wheel for over 35 years. Dream big. Drive a Maserati or Alfa Romeo. New and pre-owned vehicles available. Let Todd Maserati, Alfa Romeo of Danbury, be your choice.
Jim, you are the very best in the business. Puck dropped. Ruiz won it initially. Bounces to the Rockers. Picked up by Johnny. Up and forward to Marchesand, who's got the first period goal. Gordy Bonnell. Back to Xavier Abdella, up across to Marchesand. Winds up, Ruiz centers it. Rockers pack the lane right in front.
Yeah, Johnny couldn't pull the trigger. It was a good job by Motor City there. Marchesand found the right guy cutting down the middle. But they, as you said, they packed the middle.
To the circle, Ruiz will try it from longer. Gets a shot onto the glove hand. Abdella, that's offsides. Puck came across the blue line, so we'll come out to neutralize.
Yeah, linesman was right on that one, straddling the blue line on the other side. But he saw it clearly and he saw it correctly. That puck was probably a good half foot offside. And Abdella, hey man, keep playing until they blow the whistle. Maybe I can pull one off. He couldn't.
It was close enough where you might have been able to pull it off.
Yeah.
But observant officials, they've done a good job in this game.
Absolutely.
Carried from the slot for Sheehan. Gibbs, headlong pass. Here we go. Gonzalez walks in, shoots and scores! Kyle Gonzalez, his first goal of the season. It's 4-0 Danbury.
Well, if you had Kyle Gonzalez on a breakaway goal, not just a goal, and not just his first of the season, but Kyle Gonzalez on a breakaway, if you had that in the pool for tonight's game,
Good for you.
you won big.
Yes. Great night for you. 3 second-period goals, and the hat-trick's exploding offensively. So much for thinking you should try and win this game 1-0, and they immediately take a penalty.
Yeah, Gesso, as he's coming over the blue line, got his stick up, and it looks like he clipped Ian White on the way in. And that should be a Motor City power play, I do believe.
And that'll be their first one of the game, because they had one that turned into a 4-on-4. Then they had one which was just taken off the board because they ultimately ruled it wasn't a penalty at all. And now we've got this here. It's Dustin Gesso who's going off for the offense.
And we'll see the league's top power play go to work here, converting at 27.7%. That's 23 goals in 83 opportunities.
Got a minute and 53 seconds to work with in the second period. If they don't score, it would be a 7-second carryover. Blocked by Dowler. He is limping. He's going to stay out there.
Got no choice. Puck is in his own end of the ice.
Yep. Koch up to the point. Walks it to the right side for White. Steps into the circle. Koch looking. Tried to feed it across. Good knockdown by Jared Yao. Johnny Ruiz outlets to Gordy Bennell. Takes it 2-on-2. Tried to center it. Ruiz tried to put it on net. Ruiz tumbles down. Good bit of a kill. Coming up in the last minute and 10 left to go in the second period, which has been all hat tricks. 3-0 up on the scoreboard for the frame, 4 for the game. Up to the point, to the right side for White. Retreats. 1 minute left to go on the dot. Top of the circle, steps in, shoots it. Great block by Bennell. Tried to clear it away with his hands, not quite successfully. White walks in, shot, save made. Gonzalez on top of the rebound, poked away. Here comes Sheehan, running on downhill. White retreats, gets back, glove hand save, and White clears the side, and Marchand shoots it on net. Sheehan is down. Brendan Sheehan is down. He's getting up, so he's back up, and I think mostly he's just annoyed he didn't score.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I was following the puck more so. It looked like he, as he was driving to the net after the shot, collided with Babin because Babin lost his stick and he lost his blocker. And it could be because I think White crunched Sheehan from behind and actually sent him into the goalie. There's no penalty, and it looks like no harm, no foul. Looks like Sheehan's okay. Babin's okay. White, to his credit, we talk about him, former NHL player, guy played 500 games, up in the show. He immediately went over to Sheehan to make sure that he was okay, and he is.
Real high quality player, real high quality man. 23 seconds left to go in the second period. Tricks trying to keep the Rockers off the board. Gaudette works this one to the high slot, onto the point, thrown across to the circle. 10 seconds left to go in the frame. Intercepted by Lugo. He'll just dump this to the opposite end of the rink, and that is all she wrote. 4-0 for the Danbury Hat-Tricks after the second period, and wow, oh wow, did the offense seriously open up in the second period for the Hat-Tricks.
Yeah, and again, it's taking advantage of opportunities and mistakes, right? That's how Marchand scored the first goal of the game in the first period off the turnover. Then a 4-on-4 goal. Then a goal off a delayed penalty with the goalie, off the ice, so it was a 6-on-5. And then you catch Motor City flat-footed. Gibbs with a great outlet pass up to Gonzalez, and he scores on the breakaway to make it 4-0. That is taking advantage of your opportunities. Danbury did exactly that and they have themselves a pretty nice and I don't want to say safe because nothing's ever safe in this league, but they have themselves a nice 4-0 lead after 40 minutes of play. They can feel good about the game they're playing tonight.
They've performed very well. They've conducted themselves like real professionals. They've been pretty disciplined, and even the one penalty that's been against them, they've killed off almost all of it.
Pretty much, right. They have to kill off another 7 seconds to open up the second period, so a good job there. No real good opportunities on that power play for Motor City. Sheehan scored his 6th at 4:22 of the second from Dowler and Yao. Sheehan scored his 2nd of the night, 7th of the season at 6:37 of the second. Gibbs and Ruiz with the assists. And then at 17:56, Gonzalez, his 1st of the season. That had to be a sweet one for Gonzalez. Gibbs with his 2nd assist of the night, and Sheehan with his 3rd point of the night with the assist. And the Danbury Hat-Tricks a 4-0 lead after 2 periods of play.
Remarkable performance. And by the way, Brian Wilson currently working on a 16-save goose egg.
Yeah, don't forget that. He's made himself a couple good saves tonight.
Yes.
Team's played very well defensively, but he's been sharp when called on.
The team has done a remarkably good job. They've conducted themselves extremely effectively. 4-0 against a very talented team that is a little depleted and is playing with only 4 proper defensemen. But we are now joined by the head coach of the Danbury Hat-Tricks, Mr. Billy McCreary. So, Billy, I'm going to hand my headset over to you.
I don't know they can fit the headset over the hat. Oh, there goes the fedora. So Billy McCreary joins us here, the coach and GM of the Danbury Hat-Tricks, and you got to be feeling pretty good after 40 minutes. We've been talking a lot about that this has been a really not only well-played, but a disciplined 40 minutes so far for your team.
Yeah, it has, especially the last 20. That was a really good period for us. Executed our game plan to a T, and obviously got the results there.
And taking advantage of your opportunities. Motor City didn't give you a lot, especially in that first period. But when they did, when Coach, the puck slides off his stick, Marchesson, has the takeaway, boom, you take advantage of that opportunity. And really you did that in the second period as well. A 4-on-4 goal, a 6-on-5 goal, and a breakaway goal. That is taking advantage of big opportunities when they arose.
Yeah, we've been really emphasizing our transition here this week, and the boys are really moving it quick, and they're supporting, they're working away from the puck, and that's given us a lot of success here this 40 minutes.
We were also talking a lot about, over the course of a season, your roster, your lineup evolves. Guys get traded, guys get hurt, guys move in and out of your lineup. So it's important when you bring new guys in over the course of the season that you keep building up that depth. Early this season, you picked up Brendan Sheehan, and he made an immediate impact and has continued to do so. And, of course, tonight, 2 goals and an assist.
Yeah, Buzzy, he's a hard-working kid. He's a 200-foot player, and, he's got a lot of offensive ability too. So, just like a lot of these guys, when he commits to playing away from the puck, putting himself in the right positions, good things are going to happen. And, that's certainly happening here for him tonight. So hopefully he can keep going for 20 more minutes and build off of what he's done for us here.
Yeah, he has fit right in. You've played him with some top players this season, and he hasn't flinched. He plays on a line with Dustin Gesso. It's like he fits right in there with a guy of that high skill level as Gesso.
Yeah, he Buzzy comes from a good, strong program, Shattuck St. Mary's, that I went to, and they teach a lot of the details that we preach here. And so when he came in, he didn't really skip a beat. He just fit right in, like you said, and put him around some good, skilled guys, let him get to work, and it's been paying off for all of us.
Again, depth is so key at any level of hockey, to have quality depth. And you're seeing that tonight, I think, in the scoring, not just the goal scoring, but, you get assists from Dowler and Yao. Gibbs steps in tonight, with 2 assists, including the beautiful pass to Gonzalez there. And, hey, if, as I said on the broadcast, if you had Gonzalez not only scoring tonight, but have him scoring on a breakaway, you broke the pool tonight for sure. but a beautiful play. But getting those contributions from up and down the lineup has been so vital to your success early on.
100%. I mean, we preach our depth all the time, and you know, whether the guys are in the lineup or not, you know, we have to rely on each and every guy. And you know, what a strike there by Gibbsy, and great finish by Gonzo. And you know, it's good to see the guys playing with confidence and responding after the adversity that we saw last weekend.
You know, this is certainly, you have veterans. You know, we mentioned Gesso. You have, you know, Ruiz is a veteran, Gonzalez is a veteran. You know, Benell's a veteran. I mean, you do have veteran guys here, but you do rely on a lot of youth, a lot of inexperienced players, professionally inexperienced players in your lineup. You got the kid line out there tonight, for example. Talk me through that, how you instill confidence in them and show the confidence in them, and how it's proven to be successful in the early part of the season.
I mean, I think you got to tip your cap to those guys. They show up every day to work, and you know, they buy into what we're asking them to do, and the body of work that they put in on a day-to-day basis, you know, the preparation, it gives them the confidence that you see here today. So, you know, it's not an easy game, and I know people, you know, look at our record, and some people can think it is a little bit easy for us, but these guys go through it, you know, every week, every day, and you got to tip your cap to them. You know, everybody wants to be on the power play. Everybody wants those big minutes, but there's only so much to go around. And, you know, this is a group that really buys into the success of the team. And, you know, I've told them before, they inspire me, and, you know, it's just it's an honor to be a part of it.
Billy McCreary is the coach and general manager of the Danbury Hat-Tricks. He joins us for a couple minutes here in between periods. Hat-Tricks with a 4-0 lead over the Motor City Rockers. And another topic we've been talking about, and it's not a Danbury topic, but it's a Fed League topic, is how well Motor City in their expansion season have played. You know, the 6-game winning streak, second place in their division so far this season. How good is that for the league? I know it's difficult for you guys when you got to play them, but how good for the league is that to have an expansion team, obviously with quality leadership, getting quality players, and off to a good start?
I mean, it's instrumental. It's been great to see what they're doing. They've got great fan support. You know, everything that they're doing on a day-to-day basis, again, just like us, they're trying to win a championship, and you can tell that they're putting their best foot forward every day. And it's an honor having these guys in the league. They're tremendous competitors. They're well coached. They got a great ownership group. So, you know, it's been tough to battle against them, and you know, they've earned our respect here pretty quickly.
Yeah, 2 really good games out in Michigan against them, the 2 overtime wins for you, and of course the 4-0 lead here at the second intermission. Billy McCreary has been our guest. Billy, go get him the rest of the way, and thanks for a few minutes.
Thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate you having me.
That is Billy McCreary, the coach and the GM of the 13-1-1 first place Danbury Hat-Tricks. And the fedora is going back on. His phone's going off. Probably talking trade with somebody right now in between period. You talk about wearing multiple hats, Chris. That guy literally and figuratively wears multiple hats for the Danbury Hat-Tricks.
Yes, he does, of course. Why wouldn't he want to keep up with all the fun that we have going on here? By the way, quick couple of score updates before we go to break from around the FPHL. Carolina leads Mississippi 4-2 with about half of the game left to go. 10:19 left in the second period. Watertown and Elmira tied up at 1 apiece. Elmira's actually been pretty impressive lately.
Yeah, they've won a few games in a row, and you know, they've moved past Watertown in the Liberty Division.
They put a real scare into the Hat-Tricks when they went up there too. That's going to be a team the Hat-Tricks are going to have to deal with in division for the rest of the season.
And again, you know, another expansion team. I think it speaks well to the organizations that have joined the league this season.
We have looks like a final, at least the way it's listed here, even though these 2 games started at the same time. Binghamton 3, Delaware 2. Not sure exactly if that is a final. Or
it says in big red numbers 0-0-0 third.
That's what it says on the board. I'm going to guess that maybe they just haven't put the time on for the third period.
Yeah, maybe it's in the intermission still, but looks like Binghamton up 3-2.
So presumably that's how that works itself out. Columbus on the road. They are in Port Huron, leading 5-3 over the Prowlers right now. That game's still a lot of the third period to go.
Yeah, you know, Port Huron last season, you know, was a team that I thought maybe could have ended up with a better record. I liked some of the talent, a lot of the talent that they had on that team, but it really didn't come together for them. Well, you see a lot of former Port Huron players on this current Motor City team and having different kind of results. Now, not everybody's from Port Huron, played in Port Huron last season, but by and large having a lot more better results this season with the Rockers than last season than they did in Port Huron. So just an interesting little note, and also how they built this Motor City team. There are a lot of Michigan guys on that roster, up and down that roster. I mean, the vast majority going for that hometown feel. It was clearly, done with the purpose. They weren't looking for European players. They weren't looking for a lot of Canadian players, and even U.S.-born players. They were looking for Michigan players, and they've loaded up the roster, and with great success so far.
Well, if you're looking for players from one specific state in the U.S. of A., Michigan is one of the best places. The other states I could think of where you would want immediately, in my mind, would be Massachusetts and Minnesota.
And Minnesota,
would be the other ones, with Minnesota at the very top of that listing. But there's no team in the Fed in the state of hockey, so we have to settle for the Mitten state on this.
Yes, exactly, the 3 M's. But you're right. Michigan, Minnesota, Massachusetts, and put them in whatever order you want to put them in. Those are, the real hockey hotbeds where you're going to see a lot of the talent. Though, we could go off on a tangent here, but it's so cool to see, now at the upper levels of hockey, National Hockey League, minor leagues, ECHL, and on down the line, we're getting really good star players now from Florida and from California and from Texas. What used to be non-traditional hockey markets now are growing and producing great young talent. Probably will never be matching up to Minnesota and Michigan and Massachusetts in volume and quality, quantity and quality, but certainly it's great to see the game spreading throughout the United States.
Yeah, even on this team, Kyle Gonzalez hails from Chino Hills, California, for example. Zach Pamaleon hails from Hawaii.
Yes.
So you're getting guys from more non-traditionals. I can tell you when I first realized the trend, the Beanpot that Harvard won in 2017, their last Beanpot to this point, though they have a team that could do it again this year, the MVP was a guy named Nathan Krusko from Marietta, Georgia. Yeah. So that's been a trend that was even all the way back in 2017. I can't believe I'm saying that, but that was now 5 years ago. So you're getting that trend is continued, and it's a great thing for the sport where the reigning Hart Trophy winner in the National Hockey League, born in California, raised in Arizona, and the best player on the flagship Canadian franchise, unless you're a Montreal fan, of course.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it's a great point. And, Austin Matthews is exactly that. And I agree. It's so cool that he is, the stud number 1 guy for the Toronto Maple Leafs, an original 6 franchise. And it's only going to continue to spread. Just as I think it's equally as cool that it's spread. It's the most universal game.
Yeah.
You have stars and grinders and guys up and down through professional hockey from all over the world. And that's one aspect of hockey, professional hockey, that I love so much. But sticking to the United States, it's cool that it's really spreading throughout the non-traditional markets.
It's going to keep spreading, and even it's expanding in a place like Connecticut, which you do think of as a more traditional hockey market with all the different pro teams that have come certainly through here in Danbury, but also with all the teams that have gone through Hartford and the AHL team in Bridgeport as well, and currently the college hockey success that the state of Connecticut is experiencing with UConn and Quinnipiac both being high on the polls.
Sure. Yep.
And Sacred Heart is opening up a brand shiny new rink on campus next month. They're bringing in BC to christen the new rink, and it looks absolutely spectacular. By the way, to tie it into our hat tricks, Brody True, who plays for the NA3 team, has been doing a bunch of video work for them. It is both his video work, it is fantastic, the stuff he has done. He will... he should not go to college. He should just go work for a television station or go work somewhere else.
Mom and Dad, if you heard that was Chris Lynch
My suggestion.
Don't send your boy to college. Don't let him get that education.
Well, My only thought about that is he's so good at it.
Yeah,
And-
No, for sure. He's extremely talented, very artistic, and yes, outstanding with what he does.
Runs a successful YouTube channel as well.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Actually, I feel bad. One of the backup goaltenders for the Rockers also runs a pretty popular YouTube channel. He got hurt as well. He's out for the remainder of the season, very unfortunately.
You really you dig for your information.
Yes, you have to try and keep up with everything. Patrick Fournette, who runs a podcast, the Hat City podcast, and was trying to get a couple of those guys on board to appear, and then got hurt and couldn't make the trip out here, unfortunately, which has been a theme for Motor City lately. They're depleted kind of everywhere, especially on the defensive end.
Yes, and we're seeing it. Maybe that's catching up to them. Maybe it started to catch up to them. They're in the second period. You've got only 4 regular defensemen. You're putting some forwards back there, and it catches up to you. Especially if you fall behind, especially if you fall behind on the road, especially if you fall behind on the road in that situation when you just played a game and traveled last night. So, you can make the excuses if you want for them. Be interesting to see who they will have back in the lineup or in the lineup tomorrow night.
Yeah, at this point, you're just hoping to have enough people to play all of the games with the way that their head coach, who's a fabulous, fabulous gentleman, Gordy Brown, who I got to talk with a bunch. They're just hoping to get through this weekend as uninjured as possible. They got to win on the road, and Watertown's a hard place to go play, being so far up north and it's so difficult to get, physically to get to the North
It's
Country.
not a great bus ride.
No. I know a lot of horror stories about when the Harvard players or the Dartmouth players went up to Clarkson and St. Lawrence. When you did that trip all the way up to North Country, that's a hard ride.
Yeah, it's a hard drive, and especially coming from Michigan, and then you stop, you play that game, you win that game, but then you're on the bus, and then you got to come down here to Danbury.
Which good on them for getting a win in a hard environment when you're already depleted in that case. And Watertown, the defending league champions, they're not quite as excellent as they.
Yep, not the same team this year.
They're not the same team, but that's still a road game. That's still a hard place to go win a hockey game. The Hat-Tricks know a bit about having a bit of a hard time in Watertown.
Yeah, absolutely. But, listen, Motor City, overall has been a very good team this year. They've won 7 out of 10 road games coming into this one tonight. So, that says a lot about a team. When you have an above 500 record on the road, it says a lot. Look at Danbury last season. Danbury was one of the elite teams in the league, but they were sub 500, on the road. The plan, I shouldn't say the plan, but it broke out that they were dominant at home, and then they just fought and clawed to be 500 on the road, the rest of the season, and basically made hay whenever they played here at Danbury Arena. And a lot of teams in this league do that because the travel's so difficult. And, with the agreements some players have with their teams, some of the better players don't travel in this league on the road, or at least not to every road game. So it's tough, man, to win on the road in this league. And to win 7 of your first 10 games in franchise history, road games, that's pretty impressive for Motor City.
And the only team I might be able to say is more impressive so far as road play purely actually might be Danbury.
Yeah.
With their 2 games where they didn't get wins came on the road. One, an overtime loss in Carolina, and the most recent game, a 5-0 shutout at the team with the best point total in the Fed right now in Columbus.
But otherwise, or not otherwise, but overall, 6-1-1 on the road is a terrific mark for the Hat-Tricks. That's getting points in 7 out of 8 games that you played on the road so far. But it hasn't been easy.
No.
Because they've won, 4
overtime wins.
4 overtime wins on the road so far for Danbury.
2 in Motor City, one in...
I got my cheat sheet.
One in Elmira.
I got my cheat sheet. So let's see. We got the one in Carolina.
We've had 1 overtime win here at home.
Yes, the first one against Binghamton was home. Then at Carolina, November 5th. Then the back-to-back, of course, in Motor City on the 18th and 19th of November. Then on the 25th in Elmira in overtime win, and then you got the shootout win, which of course is in overtime, but the shootout win on December 2nd last Friday up in down in Columbus.
And by the way, the Elmira win in some ways might be the most impressive, considering that they were down by 3 goals with 7 minutes and less to go in that game, and were able to come back. And they did that without Gordy Bonnell or Johnny Ruiz playing in that game.
Yeah, it was right before Thanksgiving. They were given the night off. Didn't have to travel. They were able to be home.
Johnny traveled. He was
correct.
coaching.
You are correct.
He was in the suit and coaching, which that is a goal of his after he's all done playing.
Correct.
He wants to go into coaching. I actually had to take the headshots for him. Evan Lugo and Kyle Gonzalez are all looking to try and transition into some form of coaching when their playing careers are all done eventually.
Yeah, and we've seen, Frankie McClendon is the backup goalie for the Hat-Tricks, but he started on the side his coaching career as well.
He is an assistant coach for the NA3 team. Tyler Noseworthy, who's played here for a good long while, is the head coach of the NA3 team, and him and Frankie have a very, very good dynamic. It's a wonderful group of coaches that they've been able to build up here with Billy at the spearhead of it.
And it's neat. And Billy always talks about family.
Yes.
That it's a family here. That's what they're trying to build and incorporate with people that come in. And if you prove yourself to be a member of that family,
you're in
family
forever.
Takes care of family.
Yeah.
So, you look, Aaron Atwell, played a couple seasons with the Hat-Tricks. He retired at the end of last season. He's a scout up in Toronto for the team, and he's also a video coach for the team. Remotely, but he's a video coach for the team. Stevie Brown played 2 seasons for the Hat-Tricks as a rugged defenseman. He retired at the end of last year. He's an assistant coach this season. You see Tyler Noseworthy, who you mentioned, coaching, the junior team here in Danbury. Well, he's an assistant for Billy with the pro team here as well.
And you can't overlook the work of goaltending coach Matt Voidy, who he's had wonderful guys to work with in net, but he's done a brilliant job. He's the head coach of the NAHL team, who actually one of the players fairly recently, Peter LaJoy, just signed his national letter of intent to go to the University of Denver.
That is awesome.
So it's all different levels that the Hat-Tricks have been able to see some success in. It's a unique organization in the Fed that they operate these different levels of junior teams as well.
Absolutely, and speaking of the Fed team, they're back on the ice. Johnny Ruiz set to take the face-off to open the third period with Danbury leading by the score of 4-0.
Hat-Tricks have 7 seconds of penalty time to kill off. They will do the honors of killing the remainder of it off. The Hat-Tricks 1 for 1 on the penalty kill against the best power play unit in the FPHL. Here comes Johnny Ruiz up and forward. He's tried to receive the pass from Dustin Gesso, who's actually joined them out
Well,
there.
he joins him because he came out of the penalty box.
So
Ruiz and Bonnell were out there killing penalty.
So Gesso now hops out. They get their regularly organized line with Marchessaint gliding forward. He started the scoring in the first period off the one critical, terrible mistake that the Rockers made. Gibbs walks it to the circle, winds up, shoots it, puts it just a little bit wide to the right. Marchessaint fishes this out, tried to put it up to the circle for Sheehan. A partial line change with Marchessaint staying out there with Kuznetsov and Sheehan. First minute burned off, tried to center it, no one home. Tipped away. Vanderweel can't get out, throws it on net. Wicked save made by Babin. Hat-Tricks have kept this puck in the attacking end for a good long while. Another takeaway from Marchessaint. Puts it a little bit wide and off the apron. Up to the point. Takes a bounce. Cody Gibbs will settle it. That's tipped. Hat-Tricks still with it. Gonzalez walks in, shoots it, and puts it wide. He's already got 1 goal. He is feeling and seeking more.
13 games without a goal this season, and he gets one in the second period, and he comes out sniping here in the third.
Oh, here's a headlong pass. Dustin Gesso breaks in, shot, nearly trickles home. Just rolls a little bit wide. Hat-Trick still on the attack. What a save by Babin. Follow-up chance, not there. Holy cow, how did that not go down? Second time he's robbed him without a gun. They'll whip it around to the corner. Pamaleon. Down to Sheehan. Runs out of real estate. Wow, quite the offensive sequence. We may not be done. Let's go the other way. Koch, shoot. Save made by Wilson. He will let it go. Nearly a very risky decision. Connor Lind gets on top of it.
Yeah, I think Lind thought he was going to hold on to it.
I don't blame him for thinking that. Lugo and Gesso giving pursuit, or Pamaleon in that instance giving pursuit. We've played the first 2:40 almost of this third and final period consecutively. Cardinal carries to the circle. Xavier Abdella stands his ground. Throws a check, puts it towards the center. Lind off the boards to Gesso. Backwards to Abdella for the release valve. Lugo will just tip it, and they'll go for a line change. There's a lot of stuff happening in this period. From the red line, thrown on to Wilson. That technically will count as a shot on goal and a save. Dowler falls down.
Yeah, here's an interesting threesome. You got Kuznetsov, you got Richards, and you got Lopez out there as a forward line combination. And they ice the puck here. So they'll have to take a face-off back in their own end, 3:19 into the third period.
Lopez, the extra forward. They're allowed 18 players on a per-game basis in the Fed. And the way it ended up working out for Danbury, they rolled 3 sets of forwards and an extra.
And they had been going with the kid line, Richards, Lugo, and Pamaleon. They change it up here a little bit.
Dowler puts it hard off the glass. Motor City just trying to get themselves on the board. Top of the circle, Giuliano's shot blocked down. Can't keep this in the attacking end. Settled. Richards. Check thrown. This has the chance of turning into icing. It isn't. I guess they're going to say it was tipped on its way in.
Play on.
Okay. Everyone likes this free, open, and continuous hockey so much that we just want to keep doing it.
Fans might remember the name Jonathan Giuliano, 36-year-old veteran guy, played throughout this league, including a cup of coffee with the Danbury Titans back in the day.
Wow. All different parts of Danbury's history. The Titans are, I must say, one of the lesser remembered pieces of the history of the sport in this town.
Except for winning the championship.
Yeah, they won the regular season title. Shot on, save made, pinballing puck. Marchessault scores! 2 goals for Michael Marchessault off a pinballing play, and the hat tricks 5-0.
Now, they were pretty relentless there. They just keep whacking at it. And you see, they stay right with it. Yeah. And Marchessault with his second of the game, 7th of the season. And it is 5-0. Marchessault and Sheehan each with 2 goals in tonight's game.
5-0. Quite the offensive performance that those two have had. Marchessault came over from Binghamton. He did not have a point in the couple of games that he played for the Binghamton Black Bears. Comes over here and has been a wonderful presence.
Johnny Ruiz will pick up the only assist. And now Sheehan with almost had an opportunity at a breakaway.
Gonzalez shoots it. Save is made. You're considering who your 3 stars are, which we will. We'll talk more about it in a moment. Brief pause, back in a little bit from the Danbury Ice Arena here on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel.
Well, moving is stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Call Clancy Moving and Relocation and let them do the heavy lifting. resident and commercial, plus other services, including storage. Remember, Clancy is fancy. That's Clancy, moving and relocation.
Shots are 22 to 17 on the board in favor of the Danbury Hat Tricks. Trying to close out this game, currently 5-0 in the lead. Michael Marchesand and Brendan Sheehan with 2 goals each.
And you got Brian Wilson working on a shutout. You talk about 3 stars. It's going to be difficult tonight.
Yeah. Gonzalez getting in on the scoring fun shot by Connor Lynn. Save made. Gesso puts his man in the spin cycle. Sheehan up to the point for Xavier Abdella. Down to Connor Lynn to the circle. They're going to add a secondary assist, and Dustin Gesso scores another one. 6-0 for the Hat Tricks. And immediately afterwards, some pleasantries exchanged.
Well, you know, after the first period, which was 1-0, we're talking about what a solid defensive game this was for each team. And, you know, this could be a low-scoring affair. And the Hat Tricks just have that ability to blow a game open, especially against a team that played last night on the road. You know, we've given them the excuses. They're shorthanded defensively or on defense. But the Hat Tricks have just exploded here against a really good goalie. They are up 6-0 with still 14:18 to play in the third period.
So just a note, on Marchesand's goal, there was a secondary assist added to Gordy Bennell. So add that on to his scoring total for the night in the season. Connor Lind is currently sitting in the penalty box. This goal is going to count. It's 6-0. Dustin Gesso gets his 11th goal of the season, breaking the tie he had with Johnny Ruiz at the top of the goal-scoring list.
He leads the team with 25 points. He's only played 10 of the 16 games this season, so that's simple math. That is 2.5 points per game, and that is the best mark in the Federal League this season.
And by the way, Brendan Sheehan awarded an assist on the Gesso goal.
So that is a 4-point game for him.
An unbelievable performance. I think we know at this point who our number 1 star might be. A wonderful performance. And he was not much of a factor in the first period. He cranked it up in the second and now here again in the third period. And they've put 2 minutes up on the board for Connor Lind, the Marlborough, Massachusetts native. Kuznetsov gonna hop out and head to the bench for only 4 skaters. Ruiz Bennell.
Heck, you know, Kuznetsov got laid out
Yeah.
on that goal. And he was a little slow coming off the ice. He didn't go to the celebration. He picked himself up. He was on all fours, picked himself up and skated off the ice. He's okay now. He's leaning over the bench next to Frankie McClendon there, the backup goalie.
There wasn't even much of a celebration as guys looked like we might get some real fisticuffs.
Yeah, they were angry, and it looked like, you know, I did not see. I just saw what happened afterwards where Kuznetsov was down.
Billy McCreary is leaving this game.
Yeah,
He's tossed his jacket on the ice. Billy McCreary is heading to the showers.
Yeah, he's been ejected from the game. Billy is hot. And
okay,
so he was not happy about something here, and we might get it. I see Lopez is in the penalty box as well, and he might be serving a penalty to Billy.
Billy is still walking around.
So if he's been thrown out of the game, can he sit in the stands?
Yeah.
As a fan.
Well, the fans are giving him a round of applause, and we're going to continue this game 6-0 Danbury. Billy is just going to go be a man of the people.
However, they have to kill a 5-on-3 power play here.
Across, just a little bit wide. So that's 2 minor penalties with Lind and Lopez sitting in the box. Hat Tricks' power play hasn't been effective. The penalty kill actually has been pretty effective, all things considered, but this is a lot tougher. The best power play in the league with 2 extra skaters. Hat-tricks 1 for 1 on the kill. White winds up, drops it. Koch tried to put it onto the circle, nothing doing. White to the right side. Page retreats. Ruiz will wind up and clear it the length of the ice. And Billy McCreary is just going to watch the rest of the game from the stats table. All right. We've killed off the first minute of the 5-on-3 power play. Across to White. Conway winds up, shoots it, save made. That goes up into the air vents.
Yeah, yes it did. Good stick save there by Brian Wilson. So Connor Lind took 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct at 5:42. And then there was the bench minor called against Billy McCreary, who is airing out the officials. And that's being served by Lopez right now. That was an unsportsmanlike conduct bench minor at 5:42.
They'll put it down to the left side, out in front, nothing doing. Puck sits on the apron. Dancing with fire here, shot scores. Well, you figured you probably weren't going to keep everything off the board for a while. Josh Colton.
Well, especially in a 5-on-3 two-man advantage against that power play. And, I know that Billy, I know Billy, his anger got the best of him, and then he put on a little show and throwing the jacket, and, now he's sitting in the crowd and everything. But I'm sure deep down that he doesn't feel great that Brian Wilson's shutout just disappeared on a 5-on-3 power play goal.
A great effort for Wilson to get and keep it at only 1 goal, and made a couple of good saves on this penalty kill. Still 15 seconds at 5-on-4. Motor City going to try and get themselves a little bit closer. 6-1. 1 goal for the Hat-Tricks in the first, 3 in the second, as the remainder of the penalty has been killed off. And Motor City goes 1 for 2 on the man advantage. Wilson with the shot, with the save on the point shot. Good job to just swallow that up. Vanderweel with the blast from the point.
Yeah, all things considered, really good penalty kill there. A 2-man disadvantage against the top power play unit in the league. And Danbury, does a real good job. They do allow the goal to Colton, but they've got themselves, a 6-1 lead here. That last goal at 7:14, Colton is 4th. A power play goal from Vanderweel and Ritter.
Nice shot by Declan Conway. Sails a little bit wide to the left. Kuznetsov can't intercept that one. Gonzalez will get on top of this retreat. Pass ahead. Justin Gesso to the right side for Kuznetsov. Flung on net. Kind of an odd bounce. 11:45 left to go. Puck will bounce to the circle. And on come the Rockers. Winds up Gonzalez with the tip. Bounces away. Wilson going to settle it down himself. Rockers come away with this. Oh, up to the circle. Gesso springs Kuznetsov. Glides in. 1 defenseman with him, and he shoots it over the crossbar. Great headlong pass and a good chance. Couldn't quite finish it off, though.
Yeah, Gesso had his head up, and he saw Kuznetsov taking off from the red line. And he hit him in stride. Kuzi flew in, let loose a bomb, but he didn't put it on net.
Let loose the dogs of war and had the right idea. Pamaleon's entry. Blocked off a Motor City skate. Great keep by Xavier Abdella. Drop pass. Pamaleon hit the pipe. He hit the crossbar, and it rings out. Another chance. They'll just put it on in front. Lugo puts it on. Another piece of metal hit. Pamaleon puts this wide. Lugo with the chance. Kind of heals the shot. Richards. The Hat-Tricks have hit 2 pipes
in the last 20 seconds.
Goodness. Pass a little bit too far ahead for Lugo. 10:33 the time remaining in regulation time. The Hat-Tricks looking to sew up this win. Blocker saved by Wilson. Hat-Tricks fans applauding their goaltender for their effort. Here comes Gordy Bennell. Pamaleon with him 2-on-3. Bennell dips through. Backhander. Shot save made. What a beautiful, beautiful move for Gordy Bunnell.
I got to tell you, had that one gone in,
Goal of the year.
oh, man, that would have been sweet.
Wow.
What a move by Gordy Bunnell. I don't even know how he got the shot off, because first he's putting the puck between his skates, and then he's getting it back to the backhand. I don't know how he got that backhand shot off, and I don't know how Babin stayed with it. But he did. He made the save.
Oh, by the way, in case you were worried, Billy McCreary did get his jacket back. He's wearing it now.
Well, he's probably cold. It's pretty chilly down there, so
And the
now
puck
he is heading to the dressing room.
Yeah, the puck was sitting on a literal sheet of ice. So I'm sure he'll have to find some way to warm himself up. He's pretty hot, though, from his own anger. So I'm sure his own head is enough to keep him heated. Shot on from the point. Scored! Gonzalez! Backhanded a bouncing puck, 7-1. And who would figure 2 goals for Kyle Gonzalez?
He's feeling it now, right? The breakaway goal. He almost had one before, earlier in the third period, and now he scores again. 7-1 Danbury midway through the third period. And good on Kyle Gonzalez, a guy that is really more of a defensive defenseman. And here he is getting down low, and really that's a one-on-one opportunity, and he beats Babin.
Wow. Hey, remember all the way back in that quaint time in the first period when we thought this would be a low-scoring affair?
That's why they play 60 minutes.
Yes. That was quaint. Kuznetsov will funnel this in. 9:25 left to go in regulation time, and the Hat-Tricks flexing their offensive muscles. Admittedly against the depleted team, but not Danbury's fault. You just play whoever is on the schedule. Gonzalez with the goal. Johnny Ruiz getting one of the assists.
Yeah, Cody Gibbs and Johnny Ruiz each have 3 assists in today's game.
Who do you give all of the 3 stars to with all the scoring? Dustin Gesso carries around, shoots, it just goes a little bit wide. And goes down away from the puck. Gliding forward is Declan Conway. Walks it onto the circle. Lind forces him off the puck. Abdella knocks it down, and Lind will carry it out. Stretch pass, up ahead. Gesso sails it wide to the right. Puck kept in for a moment. Lind will settle it in neutral space. Even on the shots that aren't quite connecting, they're glorious opportunities.
Yeah.
Gaudette puts it on, shot save made, second chance for Koch, also stopped by Wilson. Now 20 shots on the board, shot by Koch, sails a little bit wide. Thompson will settle it on the red line, winds up, fires it. Save made by Wilson on the shot from neutral territory. Lind takes the hit. Abdella settles the puck behind his own net, uses it as a shield, and will glide forward. Fans on it, couple of rockers go down, one hits the boards. Pamaleon fields the puck in the air with his stick picked off. Carrying forward is Suffrandini. Doesn't have any room to work with. He'll bang it off the side of the boards. Cardinal wants to put it out in front. Centering attempt didn't quite work. They had Brad Rader right on top of it. Pamaleon gliding in. Pamaleon worked off the puck and couldn't get back to it. Tommy Cardinal picked it up. Dowler up and forward for Pamaleon. Shields it, holds it well. Pamaleon, Dowler was calling for it, can't really get it to him. Across to Ruiz, 7:05 left to go. Winds up, shoots it, big rebound. Pamaleon will fish it out in the corner. Up to Yao. Winds up, shoots it, bouncing puck, it trickles wide to the left. Babin's down. He'll get up, lost his stick for a moment. It's sitting right in front of him. He'll pick it up, he's good to go now. Here's a chance, tried to sail it over, did Pamaleon. Maybe took a little too much time, maybe.
He had nothing to shoot at.
Yeah.
He was trying to figure out where to put it.
Yao winds up and fires, blocked down, rebound chance not there. Puck is still loose, and now it's covered up with 6:31 left to go. We'll take immediate timeout and come back in just a moment with the final stretch here at the Danbury Ice Arena.
score! Shoots it and he scores! What a goal!
Well, if you want the best milkshake ever, head to Holiday Diner. It's on White Street right here in Danbury, right by the arena, the Holiday Diner. Check them out on White Street.
They make very good food. They provide good stuff, just as the Danbury Hat-Tricks provide good hockey to their fans and to us. Jared Yao's stick shatters in half. Lopez getting minutes with Benel and Ruiz. Tied up here. Tries to put this one up to the point. Dowler winds up, shoots it, puts it a little bit wide. It's one of the best offensive performances for the Hat-Tricks this season. Really one of their most, across the board, excellent offensive outings.
Yeah, I think all around, because
Yeah.
I think they've played so well defensively as well. Really a really, really good overall effort, I think, by the Hat-Tricks in this one. From the goalie on out. You know, Brian Wilson hasn't had to stand on his head, but I think he's been very, very sharp.
Gonzalez will settle this one down. Across for Sheehan. Here he comes. Tries to glide forward. He's offsides. Well, 5:29 left to go in the third period. Just an incredible offensive outing for the Hat-Tricks as Organist is playing Super Mario Brothers music, the Underworld theme. Yes, I'm enough of a nerd to recognize that.
I did not know that.
Well,
That could be a generational thing as well.
that might be. Clean face-off win for Motor City. These teams are going to go right back at it again tomorrow night. 7 p.m. puck drop. Gibbs tries to take a hack at it. Carried on, tried to center it. Chance out in front, still working at it. Wilson lost his stick after a couple of shots. Kuznetsov running ahead. Here comes Jesso and Sheehan in all alone. Across! Oh, what a save! Babin, for the second time today, robs the Hat-Tricks blind. We got to take a breather. Back in a little bit from the Danbury Ice Arena. 7-1, Hat-Tricks in the lead.
Well, Chris, Litchfield Distillery is the spirit of hard work. The Batchers of Litchfield Distillery, in honor of the early farmers of Northwest Connecticut, present to you the locally made Litchfield Distillery bourbon, vodka, and gin. Grab it at the rabbit hole and hoist the barrel with the Danbury Hat-Tricks.
This is your favorite read to do. Partly it means we're coming to the end of the game. Put it off the side of the net. Did Roman Gaudet. Great chance. High stick will blow the play dead. No penalty, just a can't play the puck with your stick while it's directly over your head. 4:35 left to go in the third period. Got our last media timeout, so we'll carry you right on through to the end of the game. And if you've enjoyed it with us so far tonight, well, we're doing it all again tomorrow.
Yeah, same two teams, just a half hour earlier.
7 p.m. puck drop. You'll be able to catch it with the two of us right here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. We hope you've enjoyed our banter and our fun. We certainly have enjoyed being able to call this lovely sport. Gaudet ran out of room. Abdella will leave it behind for Lynn. Tries this pass ahead. This is not going to be icing. It was tipped by Richards right at the red line. Odd bounce. Bring it around here, down to the final 4 minutes of proceedings. Settled in the slot, Thompson. Everett Thompson will sprint ahead across the red line. Glides into the circle, winds up, shoots it. Shot is tipped for whatever had a chance to go on net. Friendy will try and settle it. Marchesson. Lind. Pocket picked. Here comes Ryder. Winds up circle, shot save made by Wilson. He'll smartly cover up that puck. And we're down to 3:24 left in the game.
Yeah, you know what I like here too? You know, obviously there's a lot to love about what Danbury's done tonight. But one aspect of it we haven't touched on yet is the response.
Yes.
They lose their first game in regulation. They're shut out for the first time this season. You know, last Saturday down in Columbus. Well, how would they react to it? They took a punch, right? They took a punch, and they're playing perhaps their most complete game of the season in response after losing that game. And I think that speaks a lot to the players, to the coaching staff, all up and down the line. This has been a really, really well-played, complete effort. Offensively, defensively, goaltending, discipline, just everything.
And by the way, this is a game in which their coach got ejected from the game.
Yeah, speaking of discipline.
Well, a little bit of annoyance with the penalty call, which, oh well, it's a 7-1 game right now, so.
Yeah, I don't think that he would have done that had the score been, 2-1, 3-2.
No. Goodness heavens, no. Winds up from the point, fades and retreats. So Friendy out in front. Chance shot, scores. Motor City gets another one up on the board. It's 7-2. Dylan Johnson, the centerman, punches that one home.
Yeah, Dylan Johnson, all alone there. It was, they outmanned the Danbury defense in front of Wilson there, and Wilson made a couple stops, to his credit. Couldn't control the rebound, and Johnson's there left all alone, and he flips it into the net. And this is a guy that, I think they expect is going to be a scorer for them. He's a rookie, a guy that started the year in camps in the SVHL, got released. He came here, and he's played 4 games, so he now has 5 goals and 8 points in his first 4 games. So he's a kid that's going to score some points for them. He's going to be another threat on that second line.
Stretch pass for Lopez. He'll dump this in deep. 2:15 left to go. Hat-tricks have been in control. Shot off the pipe. That's the 3rd time the Hat-tricks have rung the pipe. They could have 10 goals right now. Koch picks it off of Gibbs's stick to the circle. You can tell Motor City with some high-end talent in this league. Wilson going to cover this up. We've got 1:51 left to go. It's 7-2, and Motor City does have the ability to hang offensively. No argument about that.
And the goal comes at 17:25. It's Johnson, as we said, his 5th in 4 games this season. Suffredini and Lambden with the assists as they were just whacking away there at Brian Wilson before the puck ended up in the net.
Under 2 minutes to go. Puck run deep. Pamaleon sprinting ahead. Carries on to the circle. Pamaleon backhand shot puts it over. Pamaleon's been kind of snake bitten. He's hit a couple of pieces of metal in this game.
Yeah, he and Lugo, too, has had a couple good opportunities. One, he was robbed, a great glove save, and then he hit some iron as well. And, Lugo's gone, 7 games now without a goal. So, he's probably feeling a little snake bit.
Just
keep firing, right?
They're going to go in.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard hit. Ryder to the circle. Wilson with the save. Big bounce. Pamaleon dips it left for Richards. Tried to center it. Richards carried through. Pamaleon takes a hit. We're now under a minute to go in the 3rd period. Abdella works his man off the puck. To the goal line extended. Shot save made. Wilson gets on top of it. We'll just dump it behind him to,
well,
to Lind.
Nobody from Motor City was playing it. And we see
Abdella and Thompson tied
Abdella
up.
and Thompson literally tied up
Boy.
in front of Wilson.
Okay. Kuznetsov will glide forward. In on sides, Kuznetsov settles the bouncing puck across to Sheehan. Hat-trick fans enjoying themselves. Nice little bit of home cooking is chicken soup for the hockey soul after a loss in which they score no goals. They come back home, hang 7 up on the board, and look like their old selves. The Danbury Hat-tricks emerge with a 7-2 victory. A complete effort, as complete and thorough a win as the Danbury Hat-tricks have had all season.
Offensively, defensively, goaltending, and as I said, discipline, playing smart, sound hockey. This is a real nice win against a quality opponent here by the Hat-tricks. Danbury, after losing their first game in regulation last week, they bounced back with a 7-2 win. They are 14-1-1 on the season. They are 8-0-0. They are perfect on home ice here at Danbury Arena.
Unbelievable game. Unbelievable.
Yeah, they got to feel
effort.
really good about this. And again, it was a 1-0 game.
They give Gonzalez the opportunity to lift the Litchfield Distillery's barrel and spin it. That's well deserved for him.
Yeah, Kyle Gonzalez, the veteran defenseman, with his first 2 goals of the season. And let's see, well, we know who the 3 stars are because I'm not going to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. We pick them, Chris. So let's see who the 3 stars are going to be. They're going to be announced to the fans here at Danbury Arena shortly. And with a 7-2 win for the home team, you know that there are going to be 3 hat-tricks coming on out here.
One bit of conviviality that we're seeing over here as well quickly. Declan Conway having a chat with Frankie McClendon and Brian Wilson after the game. They're very respectful dudes.
Yeah. Well, Conway, he's the guy that's, played in this league and played with and against, the majority or a vast majority of guys, on the Hat-tricks roster and everything. So, yeah, classy guy to say the least. And, and good to see after a good hard-fought game, a clean game, really not chippy at all, just 2 good teams going at it. And, in Motor City's case, listen, they were a little shorthanded tonight. And, I think that played, a part in the result, along with Danbury playing such a strong game.
One quick scoring change. Declan Conway being awarded with that secondary assist on the last Motor City goal. The number 3 star for the Hat-tricks, Kyle Gonzalez.
Yeah, it doesn't get to hear his name called 3 stars too often, being a defensive defenseman, but he scores 2 goals tonight. Good for him.
Michael Marchesson comes up next. Opened the scoring, got 2 goals. Second time this season he's been called for the 3 stars. And number 1, Brendan Sheehan.
Deservedly so. 2 goals, 2 assists, and boy, Chris, he should have had the hat trick because he had a wide open net late in the 3rd period, and Trevor Babin, just unbelievable save. I still do not know how he made that save and denied Sheehan of the hat trick, but a great night for Brendan Sheehan. 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, and numerous other opportunities. Not just that one where we talked about he should add the hat trick, but he had other really good scoring opportunities as well. A really solid night for him, for Marchesson, for Gonzalez. They all have 2 goals. Cody Gibbs had 3 assists. A guy that had 3 assists all season coming into play tonight has 3 assists tonight, including that beauty that sprung Gonzalez on the breakaway goal in the 2nd period. And Johnny Ruiz, the captain, chips in with 3 assists as well. And Brian Wilson finishes with 21 saves in the 7-2 win.
A wonderful performance for the Hat-tricks all around, and they get to do it all again tomorrow. 7 p.m. puck drop from the Danbury Ice Arena. You'll be able to watch it and enjoy a hockey game with your friends, Chris Lynch and Jim Cerny. We certainly enjoyed getting to call this game tonight. We will enjoy getting to call tomorrow's game as well, we certainly hope. Once more, the final score from the Danbury Ice Arena, 7-2 in favor of the Danbury Hat-Tricks. For my partner in crime, Jim Cerny, for everybody with the Danbury Hat-Tricks in the Federal Prospects Hockey League, I'm Chris Lynch. We hope you have enjoyed your time with us this evening. Be warm, be well, wherever you may be.